Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not
You will bring the jury.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today. This guy.
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
The wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican, he's Service Latino. I didn't ask you to interrupt
Is that
me.
correct?
Literally not true.
Oh, for crumb's sake.
Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Of course, now my voice is super loud because we've got all the settings cranked from the podcast, which for some reason StreamYard would not turn my volume up no matter what I did. So let's turn that down just a little bit because I'm pegging the meter. Good morning. Good morning, one and all. Still trying to get everything set up with the computer that follows chat because it's not following chat. There it is. Got it. Happy Friday to you. For those of you that are keeping count, this should be the last work day of the week. If it's not, I apologize. It's not my fault you got the job at the wrong place. So, yes, the video was glitching on my end because my computer is trying to reboot while I'm trying to use it. I'm doing my best to... It was blinking. It was blinking on my end. Is that any better? It should be better now. I think it's better. Let's see. Who was first today? Let's scroll back up. Help me with the name here. This is you've changed your name. Jashantanhag? Is that right? Congratulations for your first-time offender. First time you were first in chat, at least under this name. Everything IP related worldwide is your responsibility. We're punishing you for your promptness and punctuality. So, Jashantanhag, your stream is like blinking for me. Is it still blinking? Sounds fine. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Test. Let's do a little motion. It looks good on my end. It doesn't look like it's blinking at all. I think it was just during the music when my computer just had a brain cramp. All right, good morning. Happy Friday. Sorry, it's a little earlier than we normally start, but it's okay. Oh, and I didn't do my hair. This is bad hair. Sorry, my apologies. Now it's better. I ran my fingers through it once or twice. Didn't comb it after the shower this morning. But it's nice and soft from the conditioner. Oh, you just have to take my word for it. Still glitching. Not sure why. All right. After yesterday's having 3 verdicts, we've got a little bit of options here. We've got a couple things happening. Colt Gray is getting sentenced. The Pew Pew shooter, school shooter. He's being sentenced. We've got a couple things happening in some courts we like to follow. Judge Sean Perkins is having an interesting morning with somebody who looks like it's going to be a headache down the road. A few other, we've got some birthdays. Waiting for Recovery Addict to pronounce this name. Which name? Court Watcher Denisha? Which name are you wanting me to pronounce? I've got your name. Let's see. You can hear the counter. Yes, verdict came in Texas, but we didn't get to see it. It was acquittal. It was acquittal for the gentleman, the wrong house probation officer incident. Waited on the rain here. Pretty happy about that. I heard it last night. It was coming through. Pretty heavy. We've got a lot of it. Probably some tomorrow as well. All right, I know we have some birthdays out there, so let's go ahead and pull those up. I saw them in Mod Chat earlier. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. Looks like over almost half of you have found your way to the like button. Thank you for that. All right, where do we start? Birthdays? Yes. Do we have any birthdays? Let me ask really quickly. Let's see. I think what happened is all the mods are overwatching. All the mods were overwatching Matthew Harris on his live stream this morning, which is great. Love it. Matthew's great. We're here now, says Red. We're here now. Yay! Welcome. Mods are tardy, says Hades. I hit it. Mods, you don't have to look at that. Hades, you're good. Just joking around with you. Distracted. I know, it's my fault because for starting early and for starting well, Matthew Harris was doing his live as well. But good to have you all here. Mine's Sunday. Marty, we're going to sing to you probably Monday, I think, Marty Tedeschi. Monday's a great time to sing to you. That's going to be closer to your birthday. I'm sorry it's going to be a little bit after, but unless you're on the chart already, that's the plan. Let's see. We've got, thank you, Red Pen, for this one. Bronwyn, Joy, Lauren and I. Lauren and I, maybe. Oh, she was oh, okay. She's the CrossFit lady. CrossFit, yeah. Lauren's birthday and Charlie's tomorrow. So we're going to sing to Bronwyn, Joy, Lauren and I, and Charlie. We just have to sing through. So here are the parts you pronounce right here, and then you skip all this part, and then you pronounce this one. Everyone on board with me for that? Red says, I feel rushed. No, you're good. No worries. Here we go. We're going to, wherever you are, if it's legal and you're able, stand up, take a deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbor, and warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. There we go. On screen too. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bronwyn, Joy, Lauren, and I, and Charlie. Happy birthday to you. To everyone who's celebrating their birthday today or tomorrow, happy birthday. I realize there are a million places you could be and a billion people you could have been with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, pleasure, the honor, joy, that's ours. Hopefully you can turn that joy back to you. Make your day just a little more special, or begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlop's House, Sandy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. And any other fine establishment that honors the tradition of free pancakes to the birthday child. Or, I call you child, even if you're somebody's child, right? 80's expecting more from the dancers than he's getting. You guys are going to have to switch to 3-a-days on practice if you don't deliver. Last happy. There we go. There's the effort we're looking for. Happy birthday, celebrators. Denisha's like, 80's, why don't you ever dance? You're just a slave driver. Just making us dance, and you just watch. Sub Rosa, thank you very much for the birthday cake. Love it. Bernie, on the dancing? No. I sing, you dance. That was the agreement we had. Happy birthday, all. It's wonderful. Yes, and happy birthday to little Rai today. She's doing wonderful. She's excited about this one. Thank you very much. Happy birthday to all. Thanks for the idea. Now we're going to 3 days. 3 days on practice. 80s. I told you, if you don't deliver, 80s is going to make you work harder. All right. Welcome. We're going to start with Judge Sean Jenkins. Is he in Chicago? I can never remember if he's in Chicago or not. But let's go there and see what his day looks like. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Yes, sir. You do. You too.
Thanks. Who's next, Mr. Johnson?
Can we do Desmond Greer?
Let's go back on the record with Mr. Desmond Greer. Mr. Johnson, can you put your appearance on the record for Mr. Greer, please?
May it please, I'm Court Vassal Johnson II on behalf of Mr. Desmond Greer.
Mr. What does Mr. Greer want to do?
Judge, I would, at this time, just being general, just withdraw based on a difference of opinion.
Really?
To the extent that I cannot effectively represent Mr. Greer.
This is not gonna keep happening like this. You asked for an attorney, sir. We get you an attorney, and now either you're going to set a trial date and do this on your own, or we're just going to move on. And this is going on too long. What is the problem?
Well, the problem is not with me.
Well, that isn't true.
I'm sure it's not.
The problem isn't
all right.
with me. Well, that isn't true.
Well, we're not going to appoint you another attorney. You're going to have to either get an attorney on your own now, or you're just going to have to go ahead with the trial.
You look good.
I think this is a matter that needs to be best served as a jury trial as well. Are you going to hire your own attorney, sir?
I have to see if I can get another counsel, or I have to try to see what I can do.
Well, we're not going to wait. We're not going to wait on that.
Can I move to ask for dismissal?
You can, but I'm not going to grant it. What is the basis? So let me hear your basis first. What's your basis for a dismissal? All right, he doesn't have one, I guess.
Well, I'm not. I mean, let me see.
Can I get a jury?
Hello, your screen paused.
No, more here.
Your Honor?
No, I'm listening. I'm trying to hear your basis for a dismissal.
Well, I was trying to ask for a dismissal due to it's not going to be treated very fair.
Well, I'm not to deny that. I don't see why you would. I guess you probably don't think anything is going to be fair. That's not I mean, I'm not going to grant that because I'm going to be fair.
I know you fair.
So, who represented you before?
I got so it's gonna be kind of conflicted. I got other trials coming up, so that's what I was asking. Then due to my job conflict,
I'm not going to be concerned about that. We've given you every opportunity. We have to move these cases along now. And you're the one that has an issue with who represented Mr. Greer before. Ms. Harris, did you talk to Mr. Greer?
I believe at one point I did. He definitely needs to have his own counsel, Your Honor. He has a day to tell you now. But if you need that time, I would ask the court to give him that time.
I can't understand you.
Coming through kind of muffled, Miss Harris.
Just a little bit.
I apologize. Can you hear me now?
Better.
Hello, yes.
I believe I did speak to him before, and he was very adamant about having counsel. I would ask the court to either appoint counsel, which I believe he has, and I think he has a great attorney, or if he wants to hire his own and move forward with trial, I definitely think he needs counsel beyond having house counsel assist him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and we've already appointed you an attorney, and we're not gonna keep on appointing an attorney. We gave you the attorney. If you want it, you're entitled to bring in any attorney that you choose. But we're not gonna keep going back and forth, adjourning these matters. It was set for trial on July the 6th. It was I think that's when we had it. Oh, you just got the attorney today, and you
That's
can't.
what I'm saying.
All right. I'm gonna set it for a jury trial. You'll let the jury of your 6, you'll see if they're fair to you.
I don't think he's going to find anything fair.
We'll pass it. We'll pass the matter. We'll get a jury trial date and get you out of here. So.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. On Erica Gardner, has the officer checked in? Have it being Kevin Bryant?
City of Detroit versus Erica Nicole Gardner, case number SP188-47991. Appearance for the record, please.
Aaron Ogletree on behalf of Ms. Gardner. Ms. Gardner, please state your name.
Erica Nicole Gardner.
Good morning to you, ma'am. Today is the date and time is set for a trial. We're talking about Officer
He's stalling.
Bryant. There's no Officer Bryant on my list.
Respectful request and a dismissal.
Granted.
We'll dismiss the case for no officer. If there's nothing further, Ms. Gardner, have a very good rest of your day, and best of luck to you, okay?
Thank you so much. You as well.
All right, you're welcome. Who's ready?
Thank
Who's
you,
next?
Ogletree.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And Your Honor, if
Yes.
the people could have privileges, please.
What privileges do you have?
Officer Dolly appears to be late for gate right.
Everyone wants to go first and see if the
Here we
officers
have jury. We actually do have 8 of or
Probably not going to be good now. We've got signed.
right. The next one is 8:25.
Let's go back on the record. Let's go back on the record with Mr. Noah Greer. Mr. Greer, I've given you an opportunity to speak to counsel. Counsel, your client has valid documentation.
Is this a different
Yes,
Greer?
Your Honor, he does.
You got 2 Greers in the same day?
I'll dismiss the case for providing valid documentation, sir. If there's nothing further, have a very good rest of your day. Best of luck to you.
Judge Collier.
Sir,
Let's check
your
Judge
assessed
Collier
fines
in
and
just a
costs of
second.
$1,028. Those include discretionary costs of $2 of local law enforcement education, a $65 assessment of additional court costs, a $150 discretionary public defender fee, and a $200 discretionary fine. The fines and costs are reduced to a civil judgment. There's no restitution applicable in the case. Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles may apply additional penalties. If you're required to give a DNA sample, you must submit one. Forfeit any seized item, no contact with any victims. Sir, you have 30 days to file your notice of appeal. If you wish to appeal this judgment sentence, if you'd like to have an attorney to represent you, you can
Not
afford
Judge
one.
Clark.
One may be.
He's the right place, but he's the wrong judge. So let's go to Judge Collier instead.
Your Honor, and I don't believe it falls under an excited utterance, because I think that time frame is too long, and I think that it does allow for reflective thought, because he did have an opportunity to call 911. He talked to his mother, and then he drove over to Mr. Smith's house and had an opportunity to talk to him about what happened.
This sounds like a motion in limine right before trial.
I think my only concern with
familiar prosecutor
where we are in terms of the motion and the state's response is the possibility that Craig Smith could be used to simply repeat whatever it was that Mr. McGee said. Not only that, I think it's also just duplicative.
Ms. Ford.
Your Honor, I don't think we're going to elicit that testimony from Craig Smith. I think the most we'll get to is that he also heard the shot, that David McGee showed up. He looked upset. They waited for law enforcement, and law enforcement came and took a statement. I don't think we'll ask him specifics about what David McGee told him.
Okay.
If we can keep that fenced in, I think that's perfectly fine.
And are you okay with, I do anticipate David McGee's going to talk about the knowledge of the dog, but nobody's going to talk about
the knowledge of the dog.
So when it happened.
I can tell you, Pete's not testifying today.
Okay. So we're not talking about animal control, that it is called animal control, but he is going to say, I saw the dog. We'd had problems with the dog, and I was afraid that the dog was going to get on my grandmother. I think that's the extent that we're going to get into with the dog.
Okay. By the way, Your Honor, Pete is a dog.
Okay.
So I was just making sure that Ms. Ford wasn't going to try to elicit testimony from Mr. Pete.
And I will not. And I believe I have spoken to Veronica. She's not going to talk about the animal control issue. Okay.
Okay.
Any other issues?
I think we're good to go, Judge.
Your last minute resolution negotiations over bringing the jury?
Unless Ms. Ford is willing to dismiss, I think we're moving forward today.
All right. Well, we can go ahead and bring in the jury. I'll stand as the jury enters.
That's funny. Unless the prosecutor's willing to dismiss,
Mr. Mills is present.
we have nothing to
Attire,
discuss.
Black suit, red tie, white shirt. I'm only saying that, Mr. Mills, Mr. Mills, for the record, so that everyone knows that you are present for your trial.
Okay.
Same prosecutor, same judge from the other trial. It's also a very similar charge. I believe it's ag assault. Jury trial. Dog will not testify. We're putting the pieces together as we speak here.
Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Do both parties recognize the presence of the jury?
Yes, Your
We do.
Would you, ladies and gentlemen, please stand and raise your right hand. The clerk will administer your trial oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly try the issues between the state of Florida and the defendant and render a true verdict according to the law and the evidence, so help you God?
Okay, thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I have some instructions. I must read you what I call preliminary instructions. I'll also read you some final instructions at the end of the trial. Please pay attention to the instructions because they are important and they do set the guidelines and rails about which you must follow to reach a proper verdict in this case. You have now been selected and sworn to try the case of the state of Florida versus Walter Mills. This is a criminal case. The defendant is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I will define that charge to you at the end of this trial. The state's charging document, which is called an information, is not evidence and shall not be considered by you as such. It is the judge's responsibility to explain the law to you. It is your solemn responsibility to determine if the state.
So we've got the name of the defendant. Let's see when the prosecutor gets up and starts giving her spiel. Here we go. Let's skip the jury instructions. Now we're 5 minutes. 5 minutes behind.
This case is about confrontation that escalated in a matter of seconds. On April 7th, 2025, David McKee went to his grandmother's property because representatives from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection were there to investigate a complaint made by the neighboring property owner, the defendant, Walter Mills. He's known as Lee in that area. Mr. McKee joined the DEP representatives and the defendant as they walked around the property near the pond. Mr. McKee works in septic and construction and has experience dealing with the DEP. He wanted to hear what the DEP had to say and understand whether his grandmother would be required to correct anything on her property. After inspecting the property, the DEP determined that no action was needed by either party. As the group was leaving, Mr. McKee called his mother to tell her the results of the inspection. While on the phone, the defendant's large dog was roaming around the property. The dog had jumped on Mr. McKee and the DEP representatives, and Mr. McKee knew that the dog had jumped on his grandmother before. Mr. McKee told the defendant to watch his dog. The defendant responded, "You're gonna find out." Moments later, the defendant pulled out a gun and a shot was fired. Mr. McKee ducked, and he believed the defendant had fired at him.
He dodged the ball.
He yelled, "Lee, you shot at me." The defendant immediately answered, "I shot at my dog." This all happened while Mr. McKee was still on the phone with his mother. He ended that call and immediately called 911. He then went to his neighbor Craig Smith's house, where he waited for law enforcement. When deputies arrived, Mr. McKee told them what had happened. He returned with him to the scene and showed him exactly where he had been standing when the defendant made the statement and fired the gun. You will hear from Mr. McKee. You will hear from his mother and what she heard during that phone call. And you will hear from Craig Smith. You will also hear from law enforcement officers who responded immediately and investigated. The evidence will show that immediately after the argument, the defendant told David McKee, "You're going to find out," displayed a firearm, and fired it, causing Mr. McKee to reasonably believe that violence was about to be committed against him. At the conclusion of the evidence, the judge will instruct you on the law, and the state will ask you to return a verdict of guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Mr. Morris?
May it please the court?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ford? Just don't mind, I'm gonna grab this little podium. It's kind of like a security blanket for some of us. Ms. Ford didn't need a security blanket.
That's not a lectern. That's a
Good
portable
morning.
music
I
stand.
wanted to introduce myself once again, Dana Morris. I have the distinct privilege of being able to represent Walter Lee Mills in this case. You actually may be shocked to learn that both of us have been looking forward to this day. Why? Why would either one of us want a trial in this case? The reason is it's the first time that an impartial group of people have had the opportunity to listen to the facts of this case and give us a fair shake. I remember growing up with my dad, and he used to tell me all the time, honesty keeps your story simple and your reputation clean. I heard it over and over and over. There's not much difference when you're trying criminal cases, especially for the state. The credibility of your witnesses and the quality of a criminal investigation is critical to any chance of successful prosecution. This morning, you'll have the opportunity to listen to the state's witnesses and the way the sheriff's office conducted their investigation. The problem is their story isn't simple, and it should be if this incident actually happened the way they say. You will hear that there were ongoing disputes with the McKee family and Mr. Mills related to primarily two things. Pete, Mr. Mills' dog, and the McKee's interest in improving the property next door to Mr. Mills, and the way in which that affected drainage and potential flooding and erosion. So on April 7th, 2025, as the state indicated, there was a meeting between Mr. McKee and DEP staff. And they were at the property. We'll call it the McKee property. It was actually the Sott property. That's David McKee's grandmother. But for ease, we'll call it the McKee property. And Mr. Mills was the one who contacted DEP because he was concerned about what he perceived as an erosion issue caused by improvements that had been made by the McKee family. They met on the property next door to Mr. Mills' property, and Mr. Mills stood on his property while DEP staff and Mr. McKee surveyed the McKee property. And everything was fine. That meeting wrapped up. Everyone knew on the McKee side of the boundary line that Mr. Mills was there and he was just listening. So after the meeting was over, Mr. Mills walks up to the front of his home, and the DEP staff, they left the area, and Mr. McKee walked towards his car, which was parked at the front of the house. Mr. Mills was walking over to the front of his property, and at that time, Mr. McKee, you'll hear evidence that Mr. McKee became irate because Pete the dog, you're going to hear about Pete the dog all day, but Pete the dog came over to him and was trying to get attention, as dogs sometimes do when they're excited. I think it is true that you will hear that Pete was jumping on Mr. McKee. At this point, Mr. Mills hears Mr. McKee yelling threats at Pete and at him. And we'll get into more of that as the evidence is provided. But they were serious threats, and it rattled Mr. Mills. So Mr. Mills yells back, "You hurt my dog, and you will find out." He calls for Pete to come back to the house. And once he gets Pete inside, he decides to take him for a walk to settle his nerves. The next day, 2 days after that, law enforcement comes to his house and takes him into custody on a warrant, an arrest warrant. And on his person, in his pocket, he had a 5-chamber revolver. He only owns 2 revolvers.
Lots of similarities.
And the one that was on his person wouldn't have been on his person, except for the fact that just 2 days prior, he had threats made against him. You will recall this past Monday when we had an opportunity to talk, we discussed the state's burden of proof. And you will recall the discussion about their standard being beyond a reasonable doubt. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind as you're weighing the evidence today. You'll have the opportunity this morning to see our exhibits firsthand and to listen to conclusions of a private investigator who conducted a review of the Mills McKee properties. You'll see evidence will show that the trees, the heavy foliage, the bushes, and the shrubbery existing between those 2 properties make seeing anything at all from either side,
bushes, and shrubbery,
completely impossible. You'll also have a chance to see what Pete the dog looks like.
6.
And that will be helpful. Evidence will show he's no Great Dane, as Mr. McKee will likely testify, just a friendly mix, a lab mix, who's never met a stranger, by the way. So honesty keeps a story simple. And if the story isn't simple, you got to scrutinize the storyteller. At the end of this trial, at the conclusion of all the evidence from both sides, I'll be asking you to return a verdict of not guilty. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Ms. Ford, whenever the state's ready.
The state would call David McKee.
All right, we've got a dog. We've got a dog named Pete, whose name we're counting. We're up to 6 so far. I'll get that on the screen in just a second. We have shrubbery, foliage, one of the 2. Bushes. This is going to be good. Looking forward to this one. And another 5-shot revolver. Go figure. Yesterday's case had a 5-shot revolver as well. It was a 410. Rare gauge. It's actually a shotgun gauge in a pistol. 410's a shotgun typically. I'm thinking This one's going to be a 357 or a 38. That's just my gut feel. 38 special or 357. Foliage, not foliage. Gotcha. Foliage.
Good morning, sir. You'll take the witness stand and remain standing. The clerk will administer your oath.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you. Please be seated, Mr. McKee.
Are you going to take
Have
my
a seat
seat?
at the witness stand. Adjust the microphone so that we can hear you clearly. The lawyers will have questions for you, beginning with Ms.
Oh,
Ford.
man, he's going to make me move.
Can you introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes, ma'am. My name is David Allen McKee.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm self-employed. We own a septic company. We install septic systems in Florida.
What a crappy
What's the name
job.
of your business?
CCM Septic Service.
And how old are you?
30.
And do you know Walter Mills?
Yes.
How do you know him?
He is my grandmother's neighbor.
Before April 7th, 2025, had you known him?
Yes, ma'am.
How often had you spoken to him or seen him?
Approximately 10 to 15 times.
Had there been any issues between you and Mr. Mills?
No, ma'am. It's actually been was a good relationship prior to these events.
And so you told us that he's your grandmother's neighbor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And they're next door neighbors, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Do they live on a pond?
Yes, ma'am. Porter Lake.
Oh, it's a lake?
Yeah, Porter Lake. Yes, ma'am.
Do they have rocks?
And what's
And
the
are they
address
selling?
of it?
My grandmother's is
123 Sesame Street.
is 1033.
123 Sesame Street.
Yes, ma'am.
And is that in Washington County?
Yes, ma'am.
How long has your grandmother lived at that property?
At this point, probably about 6 years.
How old is your grandmother?
In her late 70s now.
Is your grandmother in good health?
No, ma'am.
What's going on with her health?
She has bone cancer, and she's just getting up in age. Her bones are having issues.
Because of her health, who helps care for the property?
My parents do.
I'd like to direct your attention to April 7th, 2025. Do you remember that day?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Were you present at your grandmother's property that day?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And why were you there?
Mr. Mills had called in a complaint to the DEP, and prior to that day, I'd had a very good relationship with Mr. Mills, so my parents decided and my grandmother decided I'd be the best one to help mediate the issue. And as a septic tank contractor, we work with the DEP, so I handle a lot of their issues on a daily basis.
So when you have a DEP inspection, what are they looking at, or what are they trying to do?
It depends on the complaint, but basically we go through whatever the complaint is, and they investigate to see if the complaint's substantiated or not, and they go down on the property, walk the property, and just verify to see if there is any substantiation or not.
In your experience with the DEP inspections, at the end, does the DEP say, yes, this is valid, or no, it's not valid?
Yes, ma'am. They will recommend and then have a finding of any kind of remediation or corrective action that needs to be taken.
In your experience, can they fine you, or can they tell you what you're going to do as a result of that inspection?
Yes, ma'am. They can fine you. They can require you to do a variety of things to fix the issues.
Is that why you wanted to be present that day?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to be there to make sure I had some direct hands-on, hey, if there was an issue, this is what needed to be done. I wanted to have my eyes on what they were seeing.
And this is commonplace for you to go to DEP inspections?
Yes, ma'am. I've been involved in multiple projects with DEP for customers and people alike.
So what time did you arrive on the property that morning?
I'd say early morning. I think it was around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
And did you walk around the property with the DEP agents?
Yes, ma'am. The property is rather steep, so we started at the front of the property, and I parked to the side near my grandmother's well house or well area. That way they could drive past my car. And we walked down, we met down where her handicap ramp is. And we started at the front of the property and walked all the way down to the lake bed and all around the property. We were with the DEP agents.
And how many DEP agents were with you?
There were 3.
And was Mr. Mills present?
He was present during the inspection, yes. Once we got closer to his property line, of course, he was there the entire time once we were down there, and we walked from the bottom of the lake bed all the way to the front.
Was this a meeting where they were talking to you and Mr. Mills and explaining what they were seeing, or how was that going about?
Generally, when the DEP complaint occurs, the complainant's not usually there, but Mr. Mills was as close as he possibly could be to the DEP agents on his property line. So yes, I mean, they ended up talking to him, yes, but that's not like commonplace.
Was he causing any issues or yelling or screaming or any problems?
He got agitated there once the DEP, they take their I call them sniper shovels, their little trowel shovels, and they were inspecting the bottom of the lake bed to see if there's any kind of like issues. And once they were like, hey, we don't see this complaint, obviously he got pretty upset about that. Upset enough to where the supervisor, Mr. Ryan, had told his subordinates to walk to the other side of the property where Mr. Ryan could handle talking to Mr. Mills by himself. That way we weren't all involved.
Were you advised that there was going to be nothing needed from you or your family regarding your grandmother's property?
Yes, ma'am. We had made a determination from the abutting property, which was Northwest Florida Water Management, where they were also having issues where the water was draining from when they did their fire breaks this previous season.
And you told us earlier, Mr. Mills was advised the same.
Yes, he was actually also advised that, hey, if he had any further documentation, and Mr. Ryan gave him a card in his email where he could give any kind of extra information if he indeed had the pictures and videos he was telling Mr. Ryan he had.
So at the end, do the DEP agents leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how does Mr. Mills, what does Mr. Mills do?
So they left. I called my mother, Veronica McKee, to tell her exactly what had happened, and hey, DEP was okay with it. The entire time I was on the phone with her, Mr. Mills was walking up and down the property line trying to get his dog to come back to him.
So, and I want to break that down a little bit. So you go back to where?
Yes, ma'am. So the DEP agents, as they were parked like right next to my grandmother's house where her handicap ramp was, when they left, I walked up the property to where I had parked, which was near my well. And I put a couple things in my car, and then I had called my mother. So I was up about middle to the front of the property.
Gotcha. And so as you're speaking to your mom about the inspection, Mr. Mills is looking for his dog?
Yes, he's trying to get him to come to him. He's yelling, looking for him.
And do you say something to Mr. Mills about the dog?
Yes, ma'am. So also during the DEP inspection, the dog was, following us around the entire time. And when I was up next to my car, he was looking for his dog, and I was like, hey, Lee, he's right here. The dog's right here. He's right next to me. He's jumping on me just like he was the entire inspection. That's what I was saying.
Did you threaten the dog?
No, ma'am, no.
Did you touch the dog?
No, ma'am. Other than I would just say, like, so he doesn't topple me over, but yeah, I didn't touch him.
Okay, so you tell him that your dog is here. What happens next?
He's very agitated. I was like, this is what our problem is the dog, is coming on our property. And, I'm worried about what happens with my grandma if the dog jumps on her like she jumps on, or like the dog was jumping on me and the DEP agents. Mr. Mills was very, very agitated. He told me to, if I had a problem with it, call the law, and he was yelling at me. And I was like, hey, look, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to cause any problems. That's the only issue we have right this second is the dog and potentially hurting my grandmother and knocking her down.
Okay. So do you express
Did we mention every time
that
he
the dog
says
may hit or jump on your grandmother?
Yes, ma'am. I did. Yes, I did.
And his response is just to call law.
He said, yeah, if you have a problem with call law.
We've got 4 at least.
At any point, did he call you by name?
No, he kept calling me by my father's name.
Okay, so what is your name again?
David McKee.
And what was he calling you?
He kept calling me John.
John, okay. So you tell him, hey, the dog's here. And what's the next thing that happens?
When I told him, hey, like, this is the only problem that we're having right now. And he's like, well, there's going to be a problem. And I was like, no, the only problem is when she's going to, the only problem is if that dog jumps and knocks my grandmother down, then we're going to have a problem.
So what happens after that?
He says, well, I'll show you a problem. And he pulls a gun and fires it.
Okay. Where are you standing when that happens?
Where I'm parked next to the well, I have my car door open. I'm standing right there, and he is down there in between where his house and car is, standing right about there.
How far away from you is he?
I would say approximately 50 to 60 feet.
Okay. So, and how fast does this happen?
Immediately. Okay. Like it's, I know they say times slows down, but it didn't. It was just to me, it was just like, holy crap, this went from 0 to 100 really, really fast. And I was not prepared for any of it.
Okay. So what you do remember is he says, you're going to find out?
Yeah. He said, we're going to find out. I'll show you, we're about to show you a problem. We're about to find out.
Okay. And then what do you see after he says that?
I see him pull the gun. And then I immediately duck, and then I hear a shot.
Duck. So you try to get in the car, or?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I had my car door was open, so I saw that, and then I immediately ducked down.
Okay.
In between the driver door and the cab of the car.
And then what happens next?
I yell. I said, "Lee, you just shot at me," and he yells back, "I shot at my dog."
Are you still on the phone with your mother while this happens?
Yes, ma'am. The entire time, even from me saying, "Hey, the dog is right here. Come." This is where my mother heard everything. I was talking to her actively. I was telling her exactly what was happening, and I was like, "Hey, I have to get off the phone. He just shot at me."
Okay. So you get off the phone with your mother. What happens next?
I immediately hop in the car and put it in reverse and get out of there. I call 911. I go around the corner to my mother's house, and I had remembered that Mr. Craig Smith, our neighbor, had his shop. His shop was open earlier, and I said, "Well, my parents are not home; they're at work." So I went and drove to him. I've known him since I was in kindergarten, so it's like a second father. So I wanted to make sure I had somebody there.
Okay. And have you listened to your 911 call?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
And does it fairly and accurately depict what you said to 911 that day?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, the state would move in states number 1.
Any objection?
No objection.
Exhibit 1 will be received.
Sorry.
You may publish whenever you're ready.
Last time we didn't get to hear the 911 call. Let's see if we get this one. Okay, we're going to have to pantomime act this out. I'll be the operator. 911, what's the address of your emergency? Sir, what's the address? Sir, I need you to listen to my questions. Sir, what's the address of your emergency? Do you know a neighboring address? No, sir, we don't trace calls like that. Yes, we can do it. It just takes a lot of time. Can you look around and see if you can find the address around you? Okay, and what does it say? Is there any other mail that may have an address in the mailbox? And what's the address for the power bill? Okay. All right, sir, and what's the nature of your emergency? Did you say dog? Okay, sir. Did he shoot at you or the dog? Is anyone injured? Is anyone injured? Is he still shooting? I'm just guessing. This is pretty much how it goes. I have no idea. Just you can fill in the blanks on the other side. Is it a good dog? Who's a good boy? What's the name of the dog, sir? I just had them commit a federal crime. No, it was his mom's mailbox. Couldn't you tell? It was his mom's mailbox. He was pretending to blammy at his own dog so he wouldn't catch a charge for pointing and firing at a human. Duh. Yeah, that's how the state's presented this so far. Let me just tell you, I don't think it's okay in Florida to shoot at your dog either. I don't think it's okay anyway. Unless you've got a dog attacking someone that's rabid or something. That's, I mean, and your name is Atticus Finch. I just, no. There's a little, how's that for a little American literature reference for you, Red Pen? Shows I listened in high school a little bit. Can't tell you anything else about the book. But okay, we're halfway through the phone call. I assume by this point we've got the address and the gist of the information to the officer or to the dispatcher, and now they're going over details while dispatch is updating CAD and officers are en route. Didn't expect to kill a mockingbird reference. Like how they just slid that in there. I like to hide the fact that I'm actually really well educated behind all the confusion and mispronunciations. I have a high school diploma.
Hello.
Procedural matters, and unfortunately you have...
And their sound system plays it in the court, but we're picking up just their microphones, and the mics probably have a feedback eliminator that limits so you don't hear the sound loop through. Oh, look at the judge. He's really absorbing this. We're not going to hear the call, but we are going to hear through cross-examination here the gist of the call, meaning the witness is going to describe or recount his experience to the 911 operator in the moment. Shared a thumbnail. Awesome. We've already got a thumbnail. Red, you're amazing. Other mods are cool too. I bet Mrs. R.A. has that book on the shelf somewhere. To Kill a Mockingbird? I'm not sure if we have that one. I have not seen it on the shelf. Let's see. Switch teams to Red Pen's team. Shared with me. I like it already. Let me bold these a little bit. Let's move that over a tiny bit. Call's wrapping up. Officers are probably approaching the scene.
So we hear on that 911 call, where are you at when you start calling 911? Do you recall?
Yeah, turn off your computer. No feedback.
Do you know where your location is when you call 911?
As soon as I hopped in my car.
Okay, and then by the end of that conversation, where are you?
By the end of that conversation, I'm standing in Craig Smith's shop.
Before you left the location where you were shot at, did you see where Mr. Mills or what Mr. Mills did or where he went?
No, ma'am. Like I said, when I saw him pull that gun, he was in between his porch and his car. It was a Cadillac. And then as soon as I ducked and I didn't look another bit in his direction, I just left.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the
That's
firearm.
two Cadillacs
Did you
in
get
2
a
days.
good view of it?
Not really. It was just to me, just looked like a generic pistol.
Please tell me it was
And
pink.
did you provide a statement to law enforcement about what you thought it looked like?
Yes, ma'am. They asked me to pick a model, and I explained to them that I'm not a gun guy whatsoever. I'm a truck guy. And he asked me to pick a model. I said, well, the only one that I really could think of is just like a generic black Taurus.
While you were ducking, is that when you heard the gunshot?
Yes.
Were you able to see exactly where the gun was pointed while you were ducking?
No, ma'am. I did not take any time to study it. As soon as I saw him pull that, I ducked.
I'm guessing it was a
And
Glock.
after hearing the shot, what did he say to you?
Or was it a 5-shot
Or what
revolver?
did you say?
I said, Lee, you just shot at me.
And then how did he respond again?
He said, no, I shot at my dog.
Did Mr. Mills ever say that you hurt his dog?
No,
Did he ever accuse you of touching or abusing his dog?
no.
When you saw the handgun, what was your first reaction?
I was scared. I knew he was irritated, but I did not think that would ever happen. I was very in fear. I did not expect that.
We heard on the 911 call at the end, they were sending deputies to your neighbor's house. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How quickly did they arrive?
I'd say within 10, 15 minutes.
Did you provide them a statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell them what you had observed?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell them that you were in fear during the incident?
Yes.
Did they ask you to show the location and where it occurred?
Yes, ma'am. I pulled it up on my phone and showed him.
Okay. And then did you take them back to the location?
Yes, ma'am. And when we drove back over there, I parked basically. So I was like, I'm gonna park right here and show them like how far they can go down and everything else.
Have you reviewed the officer's in-car camera where you showed them the location?
Yes, ma'am.
And does it fairly and accurately depict what you did that day?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, the state would move in a muted version of state's number 2.
Any objection?
I'm not quite sure what we're going to be seeing.
In the video, he takes the officers to the location of where the shooting happened.
No objection.
Right. State's Exhibit 2 is received.
Okay, so what is happening here?
I am giving the officer my statement, telling him what happened.
And where are you at right now?
This is Craig and Stacy Smith's property. This is 1006 Lake Retreat address.
That's good video.
And where were you going in that video?
I was going back to my white Toyota Corolla right there.
Clearly not a Cadillac, man. We've had 2 Cadillacs in 2 days. And we have 2 5-shot revolvers as well. Aggravated assault. Same judge, same prosecutor, same courtroom. Are we going to have 2 not guilties? Could be. Ooh. There's a, is that a Ford F-150 or is that a Chevy? Just kidding. Nice dirt road. We're rural. But that's fun in the rain. And we're all the way over the neighbor's house. Just going to chill right here where it's safe. Laser Light Lizzie, happy Friday and OG 37 months. Thank you for your support. I need to see Pete. Somebody could.
Is that your vehicle up there?
Yes, ma'am.
You just passed the cop and took the lead going back to where the shooter was? He's not scared now. No turn signal. Thanks for the 200 likes, by the way. Little pothole. Dodged. No splash. This is about as close as he wants to get.
And is this the location where the shooting happened?
17 months
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
jury.
I'm about 10, the car's parked about 10 feet further back than I was.
And were you standing when you were speaking to your mom with the door open like that?
About just like that. I was showing the officer exactly what what I could see and where my vision was.
The thing in the blue tarp back there, what is that?
It's just a makeshift pump house.
And then there's stuff on the ground kind of to the right of your vehicle. What is that?
That's the boxes that the new pump house came in.
And you're pointing, so where are you pointing to?
I'm showing them like my viewpoint of where Mr. Mills was standing and what I could see where I was at.
Okay. So if you're looking down at that house that we see at the bottom, where would Mr. Mills have been when this occurred?
So like diagonally towards the
you just pull out of your
blue
pocket?
pump house, approximately 50 to 60 feet from there.
All right. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So law enforcement is there and they're kind of looking at the scene. Is that what you see?
Yes, ma'am. They're walking around the scene right now, and there's like a little property line right there, and they were walking through that property line.
You're just having a little
deciding how they wanted to proceed forward.
Doesn't look like a truck guy either to me. Looks like a Toyota car guy.
And at this point, had you given them a full statement?
Yes, ma'am. And they instructed me to stay there.
Do they ask you questions as they're looking at the property?
Yes, ma'am. They're talking to themselves about strategy, so I was quiet and was just answering whatever questions they had.
Now, this road, is it only your grandmother's road, or is it a road? Can you get to other places on this road?
No, ma'am. This is only my grandparents' road. We park up there because that's kind of like where some extra rock was, so it's kind of a parking area. And if you keep going to the left, if you all the way down there, that's where her handicap ramp is, and it only goes toward her house, private driveway.
Breaks out his phone.
The DEP, where did they park that morning?
So I was standing basically in the same spot, and the DEP pulled up, and I explained to them, "Hey, there's a turnaround down there. Y'all can go down there, and I'll walk and meet you down to the end of the property." Which her driveway, it's like kind of a little bit of a roundabout area down there, right next to her house.
Okay. And then ultimately, they look at the property, and you sit in the car and just wait. Is that correct?
Yes, he had just instructed me to sit in my car and wait.
At this point, how much time had passed since the shooting of the gun?
I'd say about 35 minutes now.
And ultimately, what do you do at the end of this video, or at the end of law enforcement being on the property?
I believe they had gone and tried to knock on the door and talk to Lee and get a statement from him, but they ended up telling me, "Hey, we're just gonna have to wait and just don't stay at the property. Have your grandmother call your parents and basically just leave." It was kind of like on a hold.
Was your grandmother in the home at the time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And so did they tell you it's okay to leave and you're free to leave after you give a statement and kind of show them around?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you ultimately drive away?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Did you watch the entirety of this video with me? And we looked at when you got there and then when you left?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does it fairly and accurately depict the scene as it looked that day to you?
Absolutely, yes.
I'm going to show you a view of the scene, and it's going to be states number 3, and it's a clip from the video. What are we looking at here?
This is basically, you can see the rock pad right there where the pieces of the new shed are laying. And that is the Washington County Sheriff's pickup truck.
Okay.
And the picture of, you can kind of see the wheelchair ramp down there at the very, very end near the edge of her house.
And does this fairly and accurately depict how it looked when you pulled your car out that day?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
At this time, the state would move in states number 3, this photo of the scene.
Any objection?
No, sir.
Exhibit 3 is received and you may publish.
So we saw where your car was and we see the blue well pump. Can you point in the photo where Mr. Mills was?
No, ma'am.
And why can't you?
Because the dash cam only shows
it's not
my grandmother's property.
Okay, so can you point us in the direction of where it would have been or what area it would
Yes, ma'am. Basically just continue in a 45-degree angle from that well pump.
So you would go past the well pump?
Yep, in a
That
45.
way.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how close to the well pump was Mr. Mills?
I would say about 50 to 60 feet.
50, 60 feet.
Mhm.
And you were able to see him, but you had the car?
Yeah, I had the car.
Okay. And you were able to communicate with him. He was able to hear you and you were able to hear him?
Yes, ma'am. Because when he was looking for his dog and, he was walking up and down, like the entire time that we were there, he was walking up and down the property lines. He was as close as he could be.
And everything you've told us today is what you personally saw and experienced that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Mills have your permission to point a firearm at your direction?
No, ma'am.
Did you believe at that moment you could be shot?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Do you see Mr. Mills here today?
Yes, ma'am.
What color tie is he wearing?
A red tie.
If the court would reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
The record will so reflect.
No further questions.
Mr. Morris, whenever you're ready, sir.
Mr. G, you would agree that you and your family have had several disputes over the last 2 years with Mr. Mills?
No, sir. I would not agree with that.
Okay, so there have not been any disputes between you and your family and Mr. Mills?
Not with me. My parents had a dispute with him before, yes.
Okay. And part of this dispute was Pete, his dog, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And he's a lab mix that you have repeatedly referred to as a Great Dane in conversations with law enforcement, is that right?
Yes, sir. I believe he was a Great Dane mix, mutt lab mix.
On April 7th, 2025, you were asked to meet with DEP staff at your grandmother's property to discuss that complaint, correct?
Yes, sir, I was.
And Mr. Mills was in attendance, right?
Yes.
Now, you said that Mr. Mills got mad halfway through the walkthrough and became belligerent with you and DEP staff?
Yes, sir, I did.
You told Mr. Mills that Pete was digging holes in your grandmother's property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mills told you to fuck off in front of the DEP staff, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with me that there is a very large barrier of heavy foliage between Mr. Mills' property and what was your grandmother's property?
I wouldn't describe it as a heavy barrier.
Have you lifted it?
Would you agree that pictures will be able to demonstrate how heavy the foliage is?
I would say it depends on the timeline. I mean, the properties were bush hogs, so I mean, it just depends on the timeline of what you're going to call heavy foliage, sir.
Got foliage?
At that time, it was essentially a wall of trees, bushes, shrubs, and wild plants?
I wouldn't call it a wall, no.
Okay. So you called your mother after DEP staff left the property?
Yes, sir, I did.
And Mr. Mills was still outside on his property when you called his mother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's when you begin yelling at him about his dog Pete being on your grandmother's property?
No, sir. I did not start yelling at him. I just told him where the dog was after he was asking or yelling for Pete. I said, he's right here.
So you got mom on the phone and the verbal starts up between you and Mr. Mills. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, without mom on the phone, you wouldn't have had anybody to back up your version of what happened. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And you threatened the life of Mr. Mills and the dog during that argument?
No, sir. No, absolutely not.
Now, you left a good bit out of what you said to Mr. Mills during your statements to law enforcement. Is that right?
I do not believe so, no, sir.
You did say to them that you told Mr. Mills, you'll find out, right?
Yes, sir. I said it was a problem we were going to find out.
You called 911.
Yes, sir.
And you told them you were 50 to 60 feet away when you were shot at. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And how close do you think you were to the property line at the time this shot was fired?
I would say about, if I was right next to a well, about 15 to 20 feet.
Okay. And you think then that Mr. Mills was 40 feet away
From his property line? Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Now, you told dispatch in that call that the jury just listened to that you saw the gun, but you couldn't tell what type it was.
Yes, sir.
And dispatch asked you if the gun was shot into the ground or the air, And you dodged that question.
I don't believe I dodged it, no, sir.
Okay, did you answer the question?
I believe I said I ducked, right?
I'm sorry?
I believe I said I just ducked. I wasn't going to study it, but yes, sir.
We can play that again.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Play it again. Roll it.
And when law enforcement arrived, they talked to you, and then they took a taped statement. Is that right?
Yes, sir, they did.
And during your initial contact with law enforcement, you told 4 or 5 deputies that Mills was standing behind his Cadillac close to his porch when the gun was shot.
Yes, sir.
Later in that same conversation, you told them he fired from his front porch. Is that right?
Yes, sir. But like I was explaining in this tape statement, he doesn't really have like a real porch. I was trying to describe the location.
Moments after saying Mr. Mills fired from the porch, you then told the deputies he fired the gun from behind his car. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And during that conversation with the deputies, you told them that you assumed Mills shot in your direction.
Yes, sir.
You also told them that you didn't see where he shot at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One of the deputies then asked you point blank, did Mills shoot in your direction? And you said, I'm going to say yeah. Do you recall saying that?
Yes, sir.
So in other words, if you're forcing me to answer the question and I'm not really sure, I'm going to say yeah.
I mean, sure, sure.
Then Deputy Tate took a recorded statement from you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And during that statement, you told Deputy Tate that Mills pulled a gun and fired it from his porch. Is that right?
If that's what the tape statement says, yes, sir.
Okay. And you told Deputy Tate in your statement that you saw the gun and identified it as a Taurus 9mm that was black and had a clip.
No, sir. He asked me to pick a model. And like I said, I'm not a gun guy. And I gave him the generic, because as generic as I can possibly give him. He asked me to pick a model.
But you also told law enforcement that it had a clip to it.
Did I?
You did.
Okay. Yes, sir, then.
Okay. And you
Another
also
great
know that
first
revolvers
witness.
don't have clips.
Yes, sir. They do not.
And you told law enforcement that you could only see Mills from chest up when he fired the gun.
I believe I said waist up.
Well, you also told them you saw Mills pull the gun from his waistband.
Yes, sir.
But you initially told them that you saw Mills from chest up when he fired the gun.
Sure, initially, yes, sir.
Okay. So when you told law enforcement that you could only see Mills from chest up, that wasn't true.
No, sir.
You would agree that the waist is not the same as the chest.
When I said chest, I would assume that chest means torso as well, but yes, sir.
You ever wore a belt around your chest?
No, sir.
Basically a bra is what he's
Mr.
asking.
McGee, if someone is physically threatened by another, would it make sense for them to carry a firearm for their own protection?
I'm not sure, sir. I don't carry a firearm.
Do you have any guns?
Yes, I do.
Well, what kind of guns do you have?
A bunch of inheritance weapons. I mean,
Rifles,
pistols, yeah.
What kind of pistols do you have?
I have I believe a Springfield Hellcat. I have a couple 22 revolvers.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you know the make, like who made the 22s?
No, I have no idea. No.
Okay, so you don't know if it's Smith & Wesson or anything?
No, not at all.
Okay. You fire those guns from time to time?
Once every couple of years.
Mm-hmm. So you're knowledgeable as to how to fire a firearm?
Of course, yes, sir.
Okay.
I think you're more a gun guy than a truck guy, judging from your car.
Those are all my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Any redirects?
From the moment your dog's over here to the shot, how fast did that go?
Say it one more time, please.
From the moment you tell Lee your dog's over here, from him shooting, how much time passed?
Maybe a minute 30.
60 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. And so when we asked you questions about where his hands were and how he moved them, that was all within the 60 seconds we're talking about?
Yeah, I wasn't tracking where he was at. I have never had a bad interaction with Lee prior to that day.
I want to talk a little bit about the heavy foliage or the ground. The
She said
video we saw,
foliage.
is that how it looked that day?
She said foliage.
Now, what has gone on at your grandmother's house since that day?
They put the new shed up. I mean, they've put more sod and landscaping out there. They've had the whole property bush hogged. I mean, regular maintenance.
So if you were to look at your grandmother's property today versus that day that we saw on the camera, would it look different?
Absolutely, yes.
And can you explain again how it would look different?
That we maintained our side and we kept a wide berth for Mr. Lee. So that side of the property wasn't touched.
Now, earlier we talked about Mr. Lee's front porch. Does he have a front porch?
I mean, it's kind of a porch. It's really just like a trestle, like an overhang kind of.
Is that the best way you can describe it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a porch. I was just trying to tell the officers, like, give an example of like where he was.
Okay, and then there was a vehicle by it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And so you try to kind of lay the scene that here's the porch, here's the vehicle, and then the well pump is part of the.
Yes, like when I was pointing in the video, I was like, hey, this is what I could see from right here. This is where we're at.
Why didn't you see where he was shooting?
Because as soon as he pulled it, I ducked. I was scared. I wasn't going to study it.
Did you hear the shot?
Yes, ma'am.
Did the shot sound loud near you?
Absolutely. It's very loud.
So your ears recognized that the shot was near you somewhere?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions.
Thank you. May Mr. McKee be released from his subpoena?
Let's hold on.
Hold on. All right, Mr. McKee, you concluded your testimony. For now, please stay around the courthouse in the event the lawyers wish to recall you as a witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The state can call its next witness.
The state would call Veronica McKee.
You guys heard her say foliage, right? Not foliage, not foliage, but foliage. Love it when I'm vindicated in pronunciation.
Good morning, ma'am. If you'll take the witness stand, remain standing, raise your right hand. The clerk will administer your oath.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
If you'll have a seat, adjust the microphone so that we can hear you clearly. And the lawyers will have questions for you, beginning with Ms. Ford.
Can you state your name for the jury?
Hello, I'm Veronica Ann Sott McKee.
All right. And how are you employed?
With the Washington County School District.
Are you familiar with Walter Lee Mills?
I am.
How do you know him?
He is a neighbor of my mother's.
And your mother, what is her name?
Jerry Sott.
And so they live side by side?
Yes, ma'am.
And where do they live at?
We live in Washington County at
123 Sesame Street.
And who is David McKee?
He is my son.
I want to direct your attention to April 7th, 2025. What were you doing that day?
I was at work.
And at some point, did you receive, what did you think was going to happen at your mother's property that day?
My son was meeting with the DEP about a claim. They were doing an inspection.
And why was it your son doing it, not you or your husband?
He has more knowledge about, he works for a septic company. He owns one, so he knows about land usage more than what we do.
So the plan for the day was he was going to go down there and deal with the DEP?
Correct.
At some point, did he call you and update you with what had happened?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. While you're on who called who? Did you call him or did he call you?
David called me.
And do you remember how long you were on the phone with him?
About 5 to 10 minutes.
Did he update you on what had happened with the DEP?
He was telling me some stuff. Yes, ma'am.
And while you were talking to him, did anything odd happen in the phone conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Are you able to hear him talking to somebody else?
I can hear him speaking.
Okay. And what does he say?
I heard him say, Lee, your dog is over here.
And after that, what do you hear?
I heard David say, if the dog comes over here, jumps on my grandmother and hurts her, you'll find out.
Okay. And after he said that, what do you hear next?
I immediately heard a gunshot.
And then what does David say?
Lee, you just shot at me. Mom, I'm calling this.
Hearsay, Your Honor.
This is the son's statement to the mother.
Yes.
Overrule.
So what does he say?
David said, Lee, you just shot at me. Mom, I'm calling the police.
And does he get off the phone with you at that point?
Yes.
At any point during that phone conversation, do you hear Mr. Mills talking?
I do not.
You can only hear the defendant or your son, right?
Only my son, yes.
Okay. So what do you do after that phone conversation?
I called my husband and I left school.
At some point, were you asked to provide your cell phone records to prove that that phone call existed?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you familiar with Mr. Mills' dog?
Yes.
And was there an issue or a concern that Mr. Mills' dog might jump on your mother?
Yes.
And why was that a concern?
The dog would be on my mom's property and make it where delivery people could not help her bring in an oven, and it just causes problems. It barks, it goes after my mom's dog when we have her.
Did Mr. Mills seem to enjoy that dog or care for that dog?
Objection, irrelevance.
Sustained.
Other than what you heard from David McKee that day, did you participate in any part of the investigation? Other than, what did you do that day? Did you speak to law enforcement that day?
No, they did not ask me anything.
Okay. The only thing that you're familiar with regard to what happened on April 7th was that phone conversation. Is that correct?
Correct.
No further questions.
Mr. Morris?
All right.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. McKee, you would agree that you, the family as a whole, had several disputes over the last few years as neighbors with Mr. Mills?
The dog coming onto the property.
And the issue with improvements to your mother's property in the way of bringing in, trucking in dirt?
That Mr. Mills made a claim that there was dirt going into the water.
That wasn't a dispute in your opinion?
No.
Okay. Now, a month before this incident, you and your husband were the subject of a no trespass request by Mr. Mills because the two of you were continually trespassing on his property?
Objection, point, Coach.
Yes.
Did the state open the door to this? Or is this outside of scope? You know, she doesn't want to talk about it, but there's a backstory. The plot thickens, Red Pen says. The plot thickens. Starting to get an idea of just how good of neighbors these were. Good fences make good neighbors, right? I was explaining to Mrs. R.A. that when we buy a house, I'd like it if I drop something on my deck, I don't want it to have a good chance of landing on someone else's deck. I don't think the houses should be that close, so I want a little more space. Proceed or move on?
Would it be fair to say that you have a challenging relationship with Mr. Mills?
She's waiting for an objection.
The relationship that we have with Mr. Mills is that he's a neighbor of my mother and his dog comes over to her property.
And so do you have, once again, do you have any kind of animus towards Mr. Mills? Frustration?
About I have frustration of his dog.
About these disputes?
The dog coming onto my mother's property.
Now, you testified that on this day you were on the phone with your son.
Correct.
And he called you, is that right?
Correct.
You didn't call him.
Correct.
And you were at work when the call came in.
Correct.
And you were physically located at Vernon High School when the call came in.
Correct.
And that's roughly 10 or 11 miles away from where this incident occurred.
I know it takes me about a half hour to drive there.
Okay,
not
fair enough.
mileage.
We'll run with that. But I think in your prior testimony, you indicated you couldn't hear both sides of the conversation between Mr. Mills and your son.
I heard my son speak to me live on the phone.
And you can't recount the exact words used at the very beginning of that conversation, can you?
Not the exact.
And you didn't write down a single word of what you heard immediately after it happened, did you?
Write it down? No.
Yes. Yeah. Do you believe that you can recall and have testified to everything that was said by David today?
From what David spoke to me on the phone at that time, yes.
So it was a 5 to 10 minute conversation and you were able to reduce it down to about 20 to 30 seconds.
Those were very meaningful statements, yes.
And you heard your son make a threat towards Mr. Mills, is that right?
She doesn't want to answer.
I wouldn't call that a threat.
He said, if your dog jumps on my grandmother and hurts her, you'll find out, right?
That is what I said, yes.
But that's not really all of it, is that right?
That's all that I recall.
And you heard your son threaten to kill Mr. Mills and his dog if the dog were to jump on his grandmother.
To kill? No.
No?
No, he would not say that.
You didn't hear your son say anything provocative or threatening during that exchange. That's your testimony.
I've told you what I've heard on the phone.
You didn't call law enforcement immediately after overhearing this exchange over the phone between David and Mr. Mills.
I did not.
In fact, you never reached out to law enforcement to report your involvement. Is that right?
Correct.
So you felt so strong about Mr. Mills attempting to do harm to your son, you felt as though law enforcement should come to you to get more information.
I know that my son had made the call.
How do you know?
And if they needed more information, that they would speak with me.
And they never called you.
They had not.
You know your son has made serious allegations against Mr. Mills.
What I heard on the phone was serious as well.
And you also know that this case is based on a lot of conflicting testimony from your son. Is that right?
I do not know what he has said.
Do you want to help your son put this mess behind him?
I don't like the way that that question is asked. I would like this whole situation.
Nonetheless, you're free to answer.
I would like for this whole, I will be happy when this is finished.
Okay. And sharing this memory of yours helps your son's allegations against Mr. Mills. Is that also right?
It is my testimony of what I heard, and it is, yes.
And it would help?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Ms. Ford?
Was this a significant phone call in your life?
Yes.
And why was it significant?
Hearing a gunshot towards my son.
Is it a phone call you'll forget?
Never.
Now let's talk a little bit about the beginning of the phone call. Was he telling you what y'all had to do with DEP?
Correct.
Do you remember the specifics of that?
I don't remember the specifics.
Do you remember word for word what he said?
With the DEP, I do not remember word for word.
And why not?
Because
it's not interesting.
It's
not impactful.
Nervousness and the scared.
So the shooting part of the phone call was more significant than the DEP part of the phone call?
Yeah. Yes.
Prior to this happening, did you know of your son ever having issues with Mr. Mills?
He does not.
Why didn't you call 911?
I was very scared and nervous, and I wanted to call my husband to let him know. And I know that he could speak to law enforcement better than I could at that point.
Did your son let you know that he was going to call 911?
He said that on the phone.
So the plan was somebody was calling 911 after that, right?
Yes. And my husband did. And then he called me to let me know that he called.
Did you go to the property on April 7th that day?
I did not go to that property.
Since April 7th, what changes have been done to your mother's property?
A little bit after that, I don't know the date. We had a couple loads of dirt, rock brought in. We've had a shed built in that area. We've also had it's on a slope, so we had it bush hogged so that she can see better down. And now that rock has been spread also.
So if you were to compare April 7th from today, would it look significantly different?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions.
Any other questions?
Just a few. You had the opportunity to have that lot, your mother's lot, improved after this incident. Is that right? That's what you just testified to?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't happen to know when those improvements were done, specifically bringing in of dirt, rock, bush hogging. You don't recall when that was?
I have them in notes and I can provide those for you if needed.
You don't have any independent recollection, even a month, maybe? Like September, November, October?
I can't give you a definite.
Anything near a holiday?
I cannot give you a definite.
Okay. All right, that's all I have to.
All right, thank you for your testimony, ma'am. May she be released? Ma'am, you are released from your subpoena. You can stay here in the courtroom with us if you would like, or you can free to go about your day. Your choice.
The state will call Christ Smith.
This going to be a police officer? No, don't think so. This is the
Order,
shop
Mr.
owner.
Smith, if you'll take the witness stand. Sir, remain standing and raise your right hand. The clerk will administer your oath.
I approve of the blue shirt, though.
Please swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, sir. If you'll have a seat, adjust the microphone. Speak loud enough so that we can all hear you. Ms. Ford and Mr. Morris may have questions for you.
All right.
Can you introduce yourself to the jury? Can you introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Craig Smith,
And where do you live?
1006 Lake Retreat Drive.
Easy there, Craig. Easy.
Yes, I do.
How do you know him?
I've known him since he was a baby.
I wanted to direct your attention to April 7th, 2025, right? Now, you're neighbors with Mr. Mills, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're neighbors with Ms. Sott, which would be David's grandmother, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were you at home that day?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing that day?
I was working down there at our barn, which is just down the road, just a piece.
Okay. And while you were working on the farm, did something draw your attention?
I heard a gunshot, but I hear gunshots a lot, but yes.
What direction was the gunshot coming from?
It came from the direction of Mr. Mills down that way.
Were you able to tell who fired the gunshot?
I have no idea.
After the gunshot, did anything happen?
I went back to my house, which is much closer, to eat lunch, and David pulled up in my yard and said that they had
Sustain.
David pulled up in your yard, and did he tell you what had happened?
Yes.
Okay. How did he appear?
He was very astonished in the face and scared looking, and I could tell something had happened. Didn't know what. I didn't know why he was in my yard. Besides, I was the only one home, I guess.
What was he doing?
He said he was down there with DEP, but I don't
But
know.
what was he doing when he was at your house?
He was pulling up, telling me what happened, and calling the police.
Calling the police. Okay, so he had a phone in his hand and he was waiting for the police?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how soon after that phone conversation did the police arrive?
Probably 20 minutes, I guess.
So did he just wait there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when the police got there, did he speak to the police?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you speak to the police?
They asked me a couple questions, not much.
And then did David leave with the police to go show him the area?
No, we stayed there.
You stayed there.
I stayed there.
Where did David go?
I don't know if he went down there. I don't think he went with them because they were going to talk to Mr. Lee. And
Very well. So after the police left, you stayed at the house?
yes.
Okay.
Terrace,
Anything else happened that day on
gallery.
April 7th, 2025 that you can recall?
That's it.
Thank you.
Mr. Morris?
Guys, keep me honest on this peak counter.
You said you were in a barn.
Yes.
Now, my guess is that the barn is not on your property.
No, sir. It's down the road, probably 200 yards further down the road.
Further down in the
Away.
opposite direction
In the
of
opposite.
the Mills and Sot properties.
In the opposite direction.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
we're talking about, you were about a half mile away at that point?
Maybe a quarter mile. Yeah.
Quarter
at
mile?
most.
Okay. And you were sure that it wasn't the sound of a car backfiring or firecracker or anything like that. You knew it to be a gunshot for sure.
It definitely sounded like a gunshot to me.
You were 100% sure that was a gunshot that day and that time.
I mean, it could have been a firework, but it sounded distinctly like a gun to me.
Now, you weren't anticipating the sound of a gunshot when you heard it, right?
No, I wasn't anticipating nothing. I was working and I just
Right.
heard it. And
But you know for a fact what direction the sound came,
yes,
okay? You and David are lifelong friends, is that right?
yes,
Your families are close.
yes.
Do you guys hunt together?
No,
Okay. David has guns of his own, does he not?
he says he does. I've never seen him.
Okay. So he's talked about guns that he has with you. You know what
yeah.
kind of guns we're talking about?
No, I don't know what I mean, he tells me some of the guns he has, but I've never seen them.
So how many conversations from time to time have you had with him about guns or shooting guns or going target practicing and all that stuff?
Not very often.
Not all that often?
No.
Okay.
I don't see David much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they're grown and gone, and
It sounds like David's got guns and he knows his way around a gun though.
I would say he does.
Okay. And you know the difference between a 9mm and a revolver, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And David would too.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's all my questions.
All right, may Mr. Smith be released?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Smith, you're free to stay here in the courtroom or go about your day. Thank you.
The same with Ayden case.
Yeah, after all these cases, I'm like, maybe I could find a place with no neighbors. So, oh man. So in other news this morning, my alma mater had a float that was going to be
Morning,
in a
Deputy
parade
Tate.
in Salt Lake today.
Raise your right
Detached
hand,
and
sir.
crashed into a car.
So help me God.
Sent someone to the hospital.
Good to see you again. The lawyers will have questions for you.
Yes,
Neighbors
sir.
Tate, great.
State your name again for the record.
Ayden Tate.
And how are you employed?
Guess who's
I'm the deputy
back?
sheriff for the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
Back
How long have you worked
again.
there?
4 years.
What is your role with them?
I am a patrol deputy.
On April 7th, 2025, were you a patrol deputy?
We saw him
Were you
yesterday.
dispatched to Lake Retreat Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you told that you would be investigating?
Discharging firearms at the time.
Do you recall where you responded?
I responded to, I believe it was 1006 Lake Retreat Drive to meet with the victim and the complainant.
Did you make contact with a David McKee?
I did.
Did he advise what had occurred?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you take a statement from him?
I did.
After you took a statement from him, where did you go?
After taking the statement, I asked him where the original incident occurred. We both traveled to the address of where he said it occurred, which I believe was 1029 Lake Retreat Drive. Once we got there, I had him show me where the incident took place, which was at the beginning of the driveway. He pointed to me to where where the individual that he had alleged shot the firearm towards him, where he was standing at.
Okay. So he gives you a lay of the land and you kind of start looking around and taking a look at what
Yes,
you might
ma'am.
be able to find. Do you look at the ground for any evidence of casings or bullets or?
Initially, we were just trying to make sure that we didn't get shot as well. We just knew that we had a male, but we did eventually.
Okay. So at the time you arrived, it was short in time to the event.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were concerned about additional gunshot?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then after you kind of cleared that and realized that nobody was in the area, you were able to kind of investigate?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you find any casings?
No, ma'am.
What type of pistols leave casings on the ground?
Semi-automatic pistols, such as anything with like a slide.
According to David McKee, how long was the transaction between him and the shooter? Was it a short transaction or a long transaction?
For the conversation, or
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really recall the exact time on the transaction.
Did it seem like it was a long dispute where they were fighting for half the afternoon or the morning?
Ejaculating. You rephrase, counsel.
Did he give you any idea how quick the event was?
From the firearm being shot, quick.
Quick. Did you ask him about him seeing the firearm?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ask him for a description of the firearm?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he attempt to give you a description?
Yes, ma'am. He.
Objection. If we're going to get into what he told the deputy, it's going to be hearsay.
A description of what?
Of the firearm.
Overruled.
So, I just tried to get a basic description of what we were looking for as far as evidence, and he just asked him a quick model. He said it looked like a Taurus.
Okay. Now, in your experience in dealing with these type of cases, is it common for witnesses to get the firearm wrong?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever they're under stress like that.
And does it depend on their knowledge of firearms as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you meet with Mr. McKee, you take a statement, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You go to the property, do you find anything at the property?
We attempted to locate Mr. Mills to talk to him as well. We called his cell phone, I believe twice is what dispatch did. We knocked on the doors on the side of the house to make sure that we could be heard. And once nobody came to the door, we looked around in the area where the victim had stated where he shot the firearm and did not recover any shell casings or Mr. Mills. That's when we went back to the victim.
Another side of the house.
Was there a vehicle parked at Mr. Mills' house at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions.
All right, Mr. Morris.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Deputy Tate, did you have an opportunity to listen to the 911 call from Mr. McKee that came into dispatch in this case?
No, sir.
And as you said, you had an opportunity to meet Mr. McKee at Mr. Smith's residence.
Yes, sir.
And you spoke to him with other deputies present and later took a statement. So there was a conversation and then a formal statement.
Yes, sir.
And after the statement, you drove over to the scene of the alleged altercation.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. McKee's grandmother's property is separated from Mr. Mills' property by heavy foliage. Is that right?
I don't necessarily recall. I'm not 100% on that. I would assume so. Oh.
Do you recall there being any kind of a natural barrier between the two properties?
A natural barrier as far as like bushes and stuff?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
I know that we access Mr. Mills's property from the side, so I know that there was a way to get over there to his property.
Mhm.
So I don't think it was completely blocked, but
You stood close to the place where Mr. McKee claimed to be standing when he
Yes,
was
sir.
shot at. Did you ever take any photographs from that position towards the front door of Mr. Mills' home?
I believe we did. I also had 3 other deputies over there, but we were more concerned about officer safety at that point in time. So if we did, they should have been added to the report. As far as pictures being taken from where they should have been added to the
To my
report.
knowledge, there were no pictures taken.
Okay. I'll be
Did you
honest.
take any pictures?
Not that I recall.
There should have been pictures
Do you
taken.
know if another deputy at all took any photos of the scene?
No, sir.
How are we doing on the dog
Did
counter?
you or another deputy take a photo of the firearm that was on Mr. Mills' person at the time of his arrest?
No, sir. I was not present for the arrest.
Do you know if any other deputies took photos of the firearm?
No, sir. I do not know. I wasn't present.
Who is it that finally submits a case file for prosecution to the state attorney's office? Is it the arresting officer?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay, and you were the arresting officer?
I was.
Okay. Now, there are many houses close to the Mills residence, correct?
I just know of the 2. I distinctly remember the 2 houses being side by side. I don't remember exactly all the other houses.
You remember in your drive up there and away, you remember seeing other residences?
There was other residents on the road. Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you or any other deputy canvass the neighborhood to see if any independent witnesses heard a gunshot that day?
We spoke to the neighbor that Mr. David was with. I remember asking him if he had been
Craig
involved.
Smith?
I believe that was him.
Right. And Mr. Smith and him, they have a lifelong friendship.
Okay.
Was there any independent witness? Did you go by chance door to door to hear
No, sir.
anybody within close proximity whether they heard a shot?
No, sir. I didn't.
Okay. Did you or other deputies seek out a warrant to search his home for other firearms or the clothes that he was wearing prior?
At that time, we did not have enough for a search warrant.
And who based that decision?
I did.
Okay.
All we had was Mr. McKee's statement at that time. We did not have any physical evidence to try and get us a search warrant.
And you couldn't get a search warrant, in your opinion, based on the testimony of?
Off of hearsay, off of hearsay, usually we're not able to.
Well, Mr. McKee's testimony would be direct, would it not?
Sustain.
Yes, it would be, but like.
I sustain without what's
Judge
required to
like-
obtain a search warrant.
Judge is like, I sustained.
Did you or
it.
other deputies conduct a gunshot residue examination of Mr. Miller's hands or the clothes he was wearing at the time?
He was arrested at a later date. We attempted to contact him. He had not come outside of the house. If he was inside of it, we did not know where he was at.
Now, you've had a lot of experience as an officer with firearms.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. McGee told you that the gun involved in this incident looked like a Taurus and it had a clip.
I don't recall if he said that or not.
Okay. Would you be surprised if it was on video?
I would be, yes.
Okay. And you know what a Taurus 9mm looks like, correct?
Yes, sir.
And side by side, you would say that a 38 looks identical to a Taurus? Or would they be different?
It depends on what type of Taurus and not a 38.
A 9mm could look exactly like a 38 revolver, is what you're saying?
You got a 9mm
I'm not
revolver?
100% sure on that question.
You know what a 38 is,
Yes,
correct?
it's a revolver. It's 38 special.
And you know what a 9mm is?
Correct.
Semi-automatic.
And you don't think they're vastly different in appearance?
Well, a pistol is a pistol.
Okay. Okay. The 9mm has the ammunition built into the handle, whereas a revolver carries the ammunition in a rotating chamber, right?
Yes, sir.
Very, very different. One looks like a cowboy gun. The other one looks like a
No
modern
further
police
questions.
weapon.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Ms. Ford, any other questions?
A pistol is
Based
a
upon
pistol.
your investigation that day and what you did on this case, did you seek an arrest warrant for the defendant?
Yes. Not the day of.
Not the day of. How many days did you wait?
We were attempting to locate Mr. Mills to obtain a statement for him before we pursued charges to get his side of the story. I believe it was Deputy Jones.
And so what day did you seek the arrest warrant?
I believe it was April 8th.
April 8th. And what was the arrest warrant for?
Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, may Deputy Tate be released?
Yeah.
All right, Deputy, thank you for your testimony. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10:34. It's about a good time for our mid-morning break. So if you will please remember my prior admonitions, don't discuss the case amongst yourselves or allow anyone to talk about it, look up anything or visit the places involved. It's 10:35. We'll be in recess until 10:45. We'll all stand as you exit the courtroom.
10:35 to 10:45. I think we can zip ahead a little bit and skip this break. Do you think we're going to see any more people from yesterday in this court? We've already got 3 familiar faces. Maybe it's the same jury?
All right, thank you. Seated. All right, counsel, 2 things. First, the hearsay objection as to the mother, I overruled it. But the basis was, I believe it satisfies both the spontaneous statement under 8031 and also an incited utterance under 803.
Right.
2, the second issue is the bailiff told me that someone informed the bailiff that David McKee and Craig Smith were discussing their testimony in a conference room. So the rule of sequestration hasn't been invoked, so I'm going to invoke the rule of sequestration myself and ask that you all advise your witnesses do not discuss their testimony, anticipated testimony during this trial. Anything else before we take our recess?
Just to advise the court, I have one more witness and then we'll all be done.
Okay. And Mr. Morris, that should put us probably around 11 o'clock. All right, we're going to roll right into the defense case. And do you need to take a break before? I guess what we can do, if she's going to rest with one more witness, how long do you believe that witness is going to be?
Less than 5 minutes.
Okay, so that instead of bringing the jury in, bringing them back out, what we can do is once the state rests, I will just have a sidebar so we can take up anything we need to take up outside the presence of the jury, unless you need a break before you begin calling your witnesses. Would you rather take a break after the state rests?
It doesn't matter. We can move forward.
Okay, so we'll just take a break now. We'll have that witness. Once the state rests, we'll have our discussions at sidebar, and then I'll turn to you and you can begin calling your witnesses.
Yes, sir.
How long do you think your case in chief will take?
I would say 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, perfect. That'll take us up to the lunch hour, excluding the defendant, of course.
Right.
All right, so we'll be in recess to 10:45.
Wow. Okay, so rule of sequestration was not invoked. The judge now invokes the rule. The son and the shop owner down the road discussed their testimony.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second.
I would at least on the defense side want to talk to them about that. Recall them. Let's see what we got here. I think we can skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, and at jury selection, and we figured it or finagled it, so it's strong. And then I guess it did that first appearance next morning.
I got a witness, be quiet, but every time you let it go, it started. And then Caleb called the IT, they county, so I'm in the courtroom like, hello.
It's always so creepy when you're doing something and then you're on. I'm like,
All right, break time's almost over. Shop owner said the same thing at statements at the time of crime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You also had the two of them hanging out together before he talked to the police.
I knew that all of these witnesses should have been told. Release frustration. And I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Lawyer's kicking himself.
Because I want to hear what.
Lawyer's kicking himself for not invoking the rule. Because that would be a mistrial at this point.
You're just like struggling to be like. Oh, yeah. I haven't my jacket off, so he stays very cold. So he has to keep it. I mean, he stays very hot.
I haven't heard. Oh, hang on. We've got a prank call. Hello? 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 Tried. Hot mics in the courtroom. I'm not picking a side based on what happened in this courtroom yesterday.
Oh, really?
Based on what happened in this courtroom yesterday, I'm gonna reserve judgment. I think the defendant once again will take the stand. I think he has to, especially when the shot's fired. But I did not hear any evidence that a shot was fired from the police officers. Nothing, evidence of anything being struck. I was hoping they would run a little metal detector over there or something and find something, but. Is this a new court? Do they have trials like this frequently? This is a small court. This is what happens day in and day out in a lot of courts, for sure. Probably in a little town like yours as well. If you go down and hang out at the courthouse, things like this happen every day of the week. It's a new case. Same officer. Defense lawyer's kicking himself for not invoking the rule of sequestration. And now he would have had a mistrial had that happened after the rule was invoked. The star witness discussing with the collaborating witness, collaborating with the corroborating witness. And now he's left with nothing. Unless he wants to call him to the stand, and maybe, I'm not even sure if the judge will allow it to be brought up. You never not invoke the rule. The rule is so commonly invoked, it's just called the rule. Of all the rules of court, this is the one. Yeah. Did they ever find a bullet? I don't know. So far,
to come to order.
Here we go. Let's see who the last witness is. Probably another officer, I'm guessing.
Thank you. Please be seated.
That's what I do for fun, is find bullets.
Marsh, you have a look on your face.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Disturbed.
Okay.
I think it would be helpful to have some of the individuals that were outside of the courtroom who observed conversations between McGee and the gentleman who just came in, Craig Smith, to testify. I think that would be helpful, just because I'm concerned at this point that a witness has potentially been compromised.
What are you asking me to do? Just for them to put it on the record?
I'm concerned that, if we're talking about the ability to get testimony, genuine testimony from a witness who isn't potentially compromised with the testimony of someone else who's already testified and who's giving him a play-by-play, I mean, my concern is we're not having a fair trial and potentially would require a mistrial.
All right, Ms. Ford?
Well, you could have invoked the rule, and we could have advised them of this and prevented this. I spoke to to the victim, and it's my understanding he came in and basically said they were crossing me hard, and that's kind of what he told Craig Smith. But I didn't ask specifics, but him doing that isn't a violation of the rule because the rule hadn't been invoked.
I mean, I think that's kind of form over substance to a degree.
And he didn't know not to do that because we didn't invoke the rule.
I don't know if that's really getting to the spirit of a fair trial. Technically, I think it's absolutely correct that, the rule was not invoked. At the same time, though, you've got a victim who's basically sharing his testimony with another witness that's about to walk in and testify on behalf of the state.
But, and for the record too, Mr. Smith testified exactly the way he testified in his deposition. Nothing changed or got better or got worse. We anticipated even in the motion of limine, he was going to testify that he heard the gunshot, he saw David McKee. He didn't testify any differently or any better.
As a matter of fact,
I mean, right now I would have to go back and see specifically what he said to see if there was any kind of a potential advantage. Because I would have to review the notes taken and all of that.
Yes,
I mean, I'm not sure if he's still around. You all released him, but I mean, you can put him on a stand and ask him, what did Mr. McKee tell you? I think that will solve, because if he simply just said they were crossing me hard, this is a non-issue. They didn't discuss this.
It sounded like there was more of a conversation than just that.
Okay, you can put him on the stand.
I don't know. My preference would be not to necessarily put Mr. McKee on the stand, but to ask those who were listening to this, because apparently there were Deputy Tate and Zorowski were out there listening to the whole thing back and forth.
So.
And you will be moving for a mistrial?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd grant it.
Depending on what they say. I really don't want to do this all over again.
Not only what they say, but also if it colored his testimony. I mean, he could have told them everything he testified to, but if it didn't change his testimony, it would be a non-issue. Do you want to do that now?
Yes. Say yes.
Yeah, I think so.
How about we do this? We let the state call its last witness. The state will rest its case. I can send the jury to lunch early, and then we can take up this issue. And I can decide whether or not I'll grant the motion for mistrial and not. Yes, ma'am.
For the record, who is the witness? That witnesses?
It sounds like you got several, but there were Zorowski, Tate, and Dan Estes. There potentially may be others.
And was it Dan Estes that notified the bailiff?
I don't know.
You've made a motion for a mistrial. I need to rule on that motion, and I need some testimony and evidence to do so. I don't want to interrupt this trial, and I don't want the juror sitting back there waiting. So we'll let the state call its last witness. Sir. We'll rest. I'll give them maybe a lengthy lunch, and we'll take up this issue and go from there. All right, we'll bring the jurors back in.
Here's what I think defense should do in this one.
We may have a short lunch.
Defense should bring in the original witness, ask him what he told or what he said, then bring in all the other witnesses individually to ask them what they heard, and bring in the bailiff who observed this and ask him what he observed. I bet if they did that, they would have enough.
All jurors are present. State can call your next witness.
Sure.
The state called Zorowski.
Rover's on it.
So Deputy Tate was compromised as well. That's crazy.
Morning, Deputy. If you'll please take the witness stand, raise your right hand, and the clerk will administer your oath.
New face, who dis?
Do you
He's
swear or affirm
laid
that the
back.
testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right. Thank you, sir. Please have a seat, adjust the microphone. The lawyers will have questions for you, beginning with Ms. Ford.
Can you state your name for the record?
David Zarowski
And how are you employed?
with the Washington County Sheriff's Office as a deputy,
How long have you worked there?
almost 3 years.
I'd like to direct your attention to April 9th, 2025. Were you on duty that day?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Were you assigned to assist in serving a search warrant or an arrest warrant on Walter Lee Mills?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Who went with you?
Myself and Deputy Demery.
And where did you go?
We went to an address on Lake Retreat.
Okay.
Believe it is.
And did you attempt to contact Mr. Mills?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Okay. And did you knock on the door to get him out of the home?
No, ma'am, whenever we arrived on to the residence, there was a fence and a gate, and we saw the residence down towards the bottom of the hill.
How did you get in the residence?
So whenever we got there, obviously the gate was locked and everything, so I used my air horn that was installed on my patrol car to see if maybe someone will come out. To which shortly after, an individual came out and started walking towards us.
So you came to the gate.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you advise him he had an arrest warrant?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Okay. And did you advise him you were going to take him into custody?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Did you search his person before you did that?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
And what did you find?
We found a .38 revolver that was in his front right pocket.
And what did you do with the gun?
We removed it from his person, secured it, cleared it, made sure it wasn't loaded. And then after that, we walked back to the residence, put it inside his residence, and he also stated that he needs some medication before we went to the jail.
Did you do anything further in this case?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Morris?
So you were not involved in the initial call out on April 7th regarding this matter, is that right?
No, sir, I was not.
Okay. Just had contact with Mr. Mills on the 9th.
Yes, sir.
And when you were able to see him come out of the house, was he cooperative?
Yes, sir, he was.
Okay.
Was the
did he
pistol
inform
unloaded?
you about threats that had been made to him days before?
Not to my knowledge, no. Not that I can recall.
Did he ask for David McKee to be trespassed from his property?
Not that I can recall, no.
So you found a .38 in his pocket.
Correct.
You didn't find a 9mm Taurus, is that right?
No, sir.
Okay. Wanted to ask a couple of questions about the investigation. Did you or any other deputy seek out a warrant to search his home for firearms or other clothes from the day?
My only involvement was to issue and arrest Mr. Mills based on the warrant.
On that day, no kind of gunshot residue examination was done on his hands or clothes?
No, sir.
Okay. You guys, by chance, on that day, didn't try to canvass the neighborhood for any kind of independent witnesses associated with this incident, did you?
Not on the 9th, no.
And y'all never located any shell casings or casings anywhere on the Mills property, is that right?
Like I said, I was there to serve the arrest warrant.
Okay. No pictures were taken by you or anyone else that day?
No, sir.
Okay. Wanted to ask you your opinion about something, your thoughts on something. You've been an officer for a while now.
Almost 3 years, yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're pretty familiar with guns.
Roughly, yes.
Okay. And you know what a 9mm Taurus looks like?
For the most part, yes.
Now, if you put a .38 and a Taurus 9mm side by side, would you say they look alike or nothing alike?
Depends on what kind of Taurus and a revolver, but revolver and a 9mm is completely different, yes.
Okay, so fair to say they're different.
Correct.
Okay. And ammunition for a 9mm is built into the handle as opposed to a rotating chamber with a revolver.
Correct.
Okay. All right, those are all my questions. Thank you.
All righty, Deputy Zarowski, if there's no further questions, sir, you may be released and you're free to go about your day. Hey, Council, can I see you at sidebar for scheduling?
Yes.
Little sidebar before lunch. We completely stopped talking about Pete. We got 38, which happens to be the caliber of the pistol. And then Pete has not been mentioned since. I want to see what happens here. Scheduling. The jury's going to lunch. We know that much. They're going to get a long lunch, and we're going to possibly hold ourselves a little hearing as to what happened. And then what? Mistrial? Maybe. A revolver is a semi-automatic pistol. They're both handheld firearms, as in they're not long guns. But as far as function, the operation of it, still by trigger, but entirely different other than that. Other than a bullet.
All right, state, you can call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the state rests.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the state has rested this case. There are some matters that require consideration by me and me alone. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. I'm anticipating maybe 15 or 20 minutes. If we get done sooner, we'll let you know. If it takes a little longer, I'll let the bailiff know to let you know maybe a few more minutes. But hopefully only about 15 or 20 minutes. So we'll all stand as you exit the courtroom, take a break. We'll bring you back in a little while. All right, thank you. Please be seated. All right, the state having rested its case, Mr. Morris.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't hear you.
Said the state having rested its case, and I said, Mr. Morris.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we would move for a standard form judgment of acquittal for the court's consideration, given that the state has failed to meet the requisite necessary elements with proof for the charges alleged.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ford, any response?
Your Honor, the state has proven this case, and the four elements are Walter Mills intentionally and unlawfully threatened either by word or act to do violence to David McKee. We heard testimony from Mr. McKee that he said you were going to find out, and the next thing he heard was a shot. We also heard the neighbor heard the shot, and we heard the mother heard the phone call. All of those, and then David McKee himself testified that he was in fear that violence was going to take place.
Right, in a light most favorable to the state, I note that the motion is timely made, and I'll deny the motion at this time. On the issue of the defense's case in chief and the motion for mistrial, I know there are some witnesses who may have overheard. Do you want to take some time to go out and speak with those witnesses or speak with your client?
If I can have about 2 minutes with my client, I don't think there's any need to break for any significant period of time. I think we can figure this out pretty shortly.
Okay.
Okay.
Or we'll be in recess until you let me know that it's ready. All right.
Okay, so in order for a motion for mistrial to be granted in this situation, what we're going to have is Craig Smith having testified.
He leans into
vastly differently and more.
The judge mutes the mic, thankfully. He leans in for his little discussion with his client. Vastly different. I think he's wrong. I think he's wrong. We also have Officer Tate, who testified. And Officer Tate gave testimony about the gun. And Officer Tate also heard this happen. Yeah, Craig Smith is fine. As a matter of fact, the only thing Craig Smith got wrong in his testimony helps the state's position in this. And he said that the son never left his shop, didn't go back there. The cops just went on their own to find him. And and the son drove there and drove in front of the cops to get there. So, but I still think the defense attorney should pursue this vigorously. All right.
If we may go back on the record, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Mills. My request at this time is that we bypass any further investigation on the motion for mistrial, and we move directly into defense's case in chief.
Okay.
So are you just
And Mr. Mills,
withdrawing the motion?
sir, you had that discussion with Mr. Morris?
Yes.
And is that accurate?
Yes.
And you understand the motion for mistrial in Florida law, what's required in order for the court to grant a mistrial?
Yes.
And specifically as to this issue that we're discussing, while we were talking, I pulled a case, Mendoza v. State. It's 964 2nd 121. It's a Florida Supreme Court case from 2007. And the court said in order for a trial court to grant a motion for mistrial, the defendant will have to demonstrate that the testimony was altered or influenced by the conversation with someone else. So in addition to the rule of sequestration not being invoked, you will have to show that I believe Mr. Craig Smith's testimony somehow was influenced or changed by his conversation with Mr. McKee.
The only thing I would ask is if the state potentially plans on recalling a state witness, and there are others out there who are also state witnesses that are remaining, that we go ahead and institute the rule of sequestration.
Yes, sir. And before our last break, the court invoked the rule of sequestration and advised the parties to talk to their witnesses.
I think we held the station, and I told him don't speak about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was sooner than what I thought. I thought we were going to take about 20 or 30 minutes to deal with this issue. Are you ready to start calling your witnesses, Mr. Morris?
That means the judge thought it was a bigger issue.
It all depends on how you're thinking about laying out the day. I think that I'll be done probably. I don't know how long Mrs. Ford's going to take on cross. I don't know that these are going to be long crosses, but I would assume that I can rest, start to finish in an hour.
That's perfect.
Likely less.
That's perfect. That'll take us right into the lunch hour.
I don't know if you want. Yeah, we can do it that way.
Okay, perfect. So what we'll do, we'll bring the jury back in. You'll put on your case and we'll see where we are and take a lunch break afterward.
You agree?
Thank you. Please be seated.
It didn't take as long as I thought. So, Mr. Morris, the state having rested its case, does the defense wish to call any witnesses?
We do.
All right, call your first witness.
Your Honor, at this time, we would like to call Mr. Cole Frew, an environmental specialist with DEP.
Hey, good morning, sir. Come on up, take the witness stand. And if you will, when you arrive, raise your right hand. The clerk will administer your oath. Thank you. Please be seated, sir. If you'll adjust the microphone, the lawyers will have questions for you, beginning with Mr. Morris.
Mr. Frew, can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Hi, I'm Cole Frew. I work for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection.
Hi.
Can you beat me to my first question after that? In what capacity do you work for DEP?
I work For DEP in our compliance assurance program, I handle wetlands and stormwater compliance.
Okay. Now, as an environmental specialist, what do you do on a day-to-day basis for DEP?
Day to day, I go out to sites that other citizens might have concerns with, and I just verify that if there is any work being done on the site, that it complies with the Florida Administrative Code.
Okay. Now, on April 7th, 2025, you paid a visit to a property located at 1029 Lake Retreat Drive in Chipley. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was the reason for your visit?
We had received a call, I believe it was an anonymous complaint, saying that there was some field dirt being placed in the lake down there. So we were going out there to take a look and see if any work was being done.
You're saying it was anonymous?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. All right. And what was the substance of the complaint? I know you said something about fill dirt.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
we were just told fill dirt is essentially what people use for construction. They bring it in dump trucks, and we were told someone was bringing in dump trucks of fill dirt and putting it down by the lake, and it was getting in the lake.
Okay. Now, Mr. Mills owns the adjacent property to the 1029 Lake Retreat Drive property?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So they share a property line. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you investigate the complaint on April 7th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did you do while on the property at 1029 Lake Retreat Drive?
When we got there, we made contact with the gentleman that was there to meet us there. And we walked the site, walked down to the lake, and looked around, didn't really see anything going on. It was a pretty quick visit. We were there 10, 15 minutes maybe.
Okay. Who all was present? Do you recall?
I'm not good with names.
Okay.
There was a gentleman there for the site that we were visiting. I believe he said his grandmother lived there,
Okay.
but it was his property. And then there was the gentleman next door.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped by for a couple minutes, but then we just kind of told him, hey, we're looking at this, and then we left.
Okay. So you recall Mr. Mills, who's seated here today, being on his property, listening to some of this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Where was he during your walkthrough? My understanding is that you walked from the front to the back, side to side, up and down. Where was he
Then you turned yourself
during the
around.
entire walkthrough?
I don't know during the entirety. I believe we saw him first when we were down by the water. I was there with my manager, and he walked over and said hi. I kept looking at the perimeter.
Okay.
Never really talked to him. Wasn't paying attention.
Is that Mr. Hetrick?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ever see Mr. Hetrick talk to Mr. Mills?
Yeah, I believe he walked over and talked to him, but I didn't go over and see what was going on.
But you didn't hear anything?
No.
What did the conversation look like? Did it look like it was heated, or did it look like a normal conversation?
No, yeah, it just looked like my manager was letting him know what was going on, and it was. I mean, it's the same conversation we always have. We're not really standing there laughing around, but it didn't look angry.
Now, during the meeting, did Mr. McKee, that's the gentleman whose grandmother had the property, did he ever get angry, loud, or belligerent?
No.
Could you describe Mr. Mills' temperament during that meeting? Did he ever get loud, belligerent, use the F word at all?
No, from what I observed, it was very routine. Everybody seemed calm and was just letting us do our job.
Okay. So both parties involved were pretty even keel while y'all were all there.
Yeah.
No further questions.
Ms. Ford?
How does one file a complaint with the DEP?
Typically, we receive phone calls to our district offices, and then they get placed in an online tracking software and assigned to our case managers.
Do you have to give your name, or can you be anonymous?
You don't have to give your name. We accept anonymous complaints.
Now, we earlier heard that you thought this was an anonymous complaint. Did you ever give a deposition in this case?
I did.
Did you ever give a different answer to that about who may have been the complainant on this case?
I'm not sure.
Would it help refresh your recollection to look at that deposition?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, I see. I did. I pulled up the complaint information and
So who did make the complaint on that DEQ?
the complaint was made by Lee Mills.
Lee Mills, okay. So how often do you go to site visits and do inspections?
5 to 10 times a week.
Okay. And how many complaints do you get a week, I guess?
About 5 to 10.
5 to 10. So can neighbors just complain on neighbors if they want?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the system abused?
Not frequently, no.
Okay. So you can make any complaint you want, and then the DEP will take a look at it and decide what to do with it?
Yep.
Okay. And you kind of described what you did that day. You walked the property. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you look for certain things to determine if the complaint is fair or if it doesn't exist. Is that correct?
Yeah. We're just looking for if there are any wetland violations or surface water violations.
And then at the end of every inspection, do you look at the complaint and then said, yeah, your complaint's good, or no, your complaint's bad? How does that work?
Typically, when we get back to the office and we gather our information and see if there's any further things that we're going to do, that's when we'd contact the complainant and close the complaint.
Okay. That day, did you tell anyone, hey, we think this is substantiated or this is not substantiated?
I did not know.
Okay. And if Mr. Hedrick had a conversation with Mr. Mills, was there a situation where Mr. Hedrick was speaking to Mr. Mills and you weren't able to hear it?
I never walked over to both of them.
Okay, so there was a private conversation that you weren't privy to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were you familiar if anyone was told that day if the complaint was good or bad?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Nothing.
Can we redirect?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Pruitt, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
May he be released, counsel?
You may.
You're free to go about your day, or you can stay here with us.
Thank
Up to you.
Have a great day.
You as well. All right, Mr. Morris?
Yeah, the defense would call Dan Estes. And we're gonna need the monitors on.
Stay here with us.
No, Dan.
You should stay here with us. He's like, oh, no, thank you. I'd rather go inspect more dirt.
Mr. Estes, good morning, sir. Good, sir. I'm well, how are you? You just take the witness stand, the clerk will administer your oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. All right, Mr. Estes, the lawyers will have questions for you, beginning with Mr. Morris.
Good morning, sir. Would you please introduce yourself to the court?
Dan Estes. I'm a private investigator.
Oh.
And where's your office located?
PI.
In Panama City.
And how long have you been a private investigator?
A little over 20 years.
Okay. Can you give us a little bit on your educational background?
I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I went through the police academy, so I have police standards in Florida. Certified cell phone examiner, forensics. I do lie detector testing, any type of investigation. As far as criminal, civil, we do pretty much everything.
And you were hired in this case?
Yes.
For what purpose?
To document the scene, take photographs, and survey the area.
So the pictures you took while you were on the Mills property and the adjoining property, you never were actually standing on the adjoining property, but the pictures you took were of Mr. Mills' property and the adjoining property where David McKee was standing at the time of the alleged incident.
Yes.
Okay. How many pictures did you take total?
I think it was maybe 50 to 65.
Okay.
I took a lot of photographs.
Now, when were these photographs taken?
It was July 13th, 2025, I think it was.
Do you recall how many times you visited the property?
I'm sure it was once.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask that these photographs be marked as Defense Composite Exhibit A for identification. Please let the record reflect that I'm showing opposing counsel. May I approach? Yes, sir. I'm now handing you Defendant's Composite Exhibit A for purposes of identification. Can you tell me what that exhibit is?
This is the entrance to Mr. Mills' property.
Well, in an effort to save time, what I'm wanting you to do is just look at them and flip through them. And then I'll ask you some questions about them once we're permitted to get them before the jury and up on the monitor.
Sure.
So what I'd like for you to do is take a look at those pictures. And when you're done looking at them, just look up if you would.
Okay.
If he could back up off that microphone just a little bit. They're not really good. This kind has a sweet spot. Like I could get right up to it, like almost eating it. It's fine. This kind, not so much. This is Florida. Got another aggravated assault case. Neighbor versus neighbor.
Recognize those photographs?
Yes.
What do those photographs generally depict?
The area of Mr. Mills' property and kind of the surrounding area.
And that was, those photographs that you're looking at were taken, I believe, as you said, July 13th?
Yes.
2025?
Yes.
Do these pictures fairly accurately depict the Mills property that you photographed on that day?
Yes.
Are these all of the photos that you took of the Mills property?
No, I took other photographs, but some of them were duplicates. So generally when I photograph an area, I try to take more photographs than I need so that if some of them don't come out, then we still have the scene covered.
Your Honor, at this time I would offer defendant's composite exhibit A for identification of the evidence as defendant's composite exhibit A.
Any objection?
No objection.
A is received and you may publish.
I'm about to pull them up. You can take those back later, or they can take them back later if they want. All right, if we can get the monitors up, ma'am.
See all your files, sir. Oh, nice. Everyone just, oh yeah, that's
all right.
Okay.
We may have to turn around some of these pictures, but that's okay. Mr. Estes, can you tell me what the jury is looking at in this photograph? This is the first of several.
So in this photograph, I generally start with taking a picture of the address, including the mailbox, maybe the entrance to the property, just for identification purposes.
And let me ask you before we describe or you tell us about this photograph, did you review any reports in advance of your visit to the Mills property?
Yes.
And what were those reports?
I reviewed the charging affidavit. And there was a couple of photographs.
And did you review the offense reports?
Excuse me?
Did you review any offense reports?
Just the charging affidavit,
okay.
The other offense report.
Okay. Let me go back. Okay, so taking a look at this is essentially the same position, is that right?
Yes, this is just left of the mailbox and the main entrance to Mr. Mills' property.
In this photograph?
Same, this is further, the entrance to drive through his property to get on to where the house is. Same, I just took a couple of photographs so I can get a view of the front of the property.
So in this photograph, it looks like the farther back you go, the heavier the foliage.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Yes, it's very thick.
Right. So can you tell us what you've done in this picture?
This photograph is still the entrance to Mr. Mills' property, but is just to the left is Mr. McGee's property.
And in this
that's,
picture?
Yes, that's almost the same, just a little bit further left. You can see the driveway to enter the McGee's property.
Essentially the same photograph?
Yes, that's the driveway going to the adjacent property.
Right. So that would be the McGee's property. That's not the driveway to Mr.
Correct.
Mills. It looks like you're moving forward.
I'm just gradually moving forward as I'm taking pictures as I walk onto his property.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to see the heavier foliage.
I'm just photographing the entrance to the property and the vegetation on the left side that separate the two properties.
Looks like in the distance, just past the boat, is Mr. Mills' home. Is that right? Is that what you understood?
Yes.
Okay.
You never got that far? FDA just recalled a bunch of eggs from.
Okay. And what are we looking at here?
Same area, just getting a different view of the home, what's on the property, and kind of just getting a basic look around.
Now it looks like there's a blue truck off in the distance, close to the front door.
Yes. And then there's the Cadillac is in front of this blue truck.
So between the truck and the house.
Yes.
Okay. Can you see in this photograph where the front porch is?
Not really.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Brookshire grocery stores, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas. Egg recall.
So this is essentially a closer look. It looks like you're walking deeper into the property.
I'm walking deeper in the property and kind of photographing the vegetation on the left just from a bird's eye view, basically, to see what's there as I walk up.
Birds
so I
fly.
see what I can see, basically.
So what did you notice as you're getting to at least this boat on the left side? Is the foliage getting lighter, heavier? Could you see
It's
through it?
heavier. As from the beginning of the property or from the entrance, as you walk closer toward the house, it's thicker and thicker.
Now it looks like you've panned to the left a bit.
Just to see if I could see through the two houses. The property is separated by this wood line of trees, undergrowth, and some heavy brush. So as I was walking through, I was just photographing what I could see if I could see the house on the other side of the property. And from my viewpoint, it looked like that wood line was there just to separate the properties.
Can you, in this picture, could you see the McGee home?
No.
The McGee property?
No.
Did you see a blue little pump house on the McGee property from this photograph?
No.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like you've now taken up a position between the house and the Cadillac?
Yes, it was from reading the police report and speaking with Mr. Mills, I wanted to find out where he was when this incident occurred. And he indicated to me that he was in front of this Cadillac. So I stood in front of the Cadillac so I could get a line of sight view to where Mr. McKee was.
And based on what you had reviewed prior to coming to this property, did you have any sense of where exactly in the wood line on the opposite side Mr. McKee would have been? Yes.
I had the two photographs I looked at. It showed him talking to the deputies and pointing out where he was basically standing.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to measure the distance between this position and the position that was articulated by Mr. McGee, where he was?
I couldn't get an accurate measurement because I didn't have access to the McKee property. So I measured the distance from Mr. Mills, where he was standing, to his property line. And then I used Google Maps to measure the property distance of where Mr. McGee was standing when he said the shooting occurred. And it was approximately 130 feet.
Okay. That's when you're saying 130 feet, that's the distance between both individuals.
Yes, that's the distance between the front of this Cadillac and to the where Mr. McKee was supposedly standing when the shooting occurred.
Were you able to measure the distance just from the front of the Cadillac to the property line?
Yeah, it was about 80 feet.
Okay.
Just in an angle, not direct line straight across. It was in the line that Mr. McGee was supposedly standing.
Okay. So this kind of gives us a wider look of the foliage from that position that Mr. Mills said that he was at.
Yes.
Okay. And do you know where in all that foliage Mr. McGee was supposed to be?
I pointed the camera, my phone, in the area where it looked like he was, and I just drew a line. And it's basically over the top of the Cadillac, straight through where that dark spot is.
Okay.
Just beyond that.
So you like this area
yes,
here?
In that area, okay. Or north of that, or to the left of it.
Okay. And for the jurors wondering, we're going to publish these photographs. We've already published them. We're going to allow you all to take them back and look at them at your own pace, if you like, later.
So the reason, oh, I'm sorry.
No, ready to go.
Okay, the reason I took this photograph, because when I read the police report, I was a little bit surprised when I went to the property because it didn't say anything about this wood line. There was nothing in the police report. I anticipated seeing an open field, no trees, and, two homes that was basically maybe separated by just an imaginary property line. And so when I got to the property, I saw the wood line and I thought, wow, this is significant. And so I took that photograph.
Now, was it your understanding that the reports reflected that Mills and McGee were on opposite sides of the trees and brush when the shot was allegedly fired?
My understanding was they were on opposite properties.
Correct. Okay. So in your own words, you had a chance to take a look at this. How thick would you say the trees and the brush were?
It was thick enough to block any visibility, in my opinion.
And you were aware of a house and other structures on the McGee property?
Yes.
Just past all this barrier, right?
Yes.
And while standing on the Mills property, could you make out anything on the other property through the trees and the brush?
I mean, I could, at some parts of the property, I could see some areas of that property, but no, not really.
So as you moved to the front of the property, away from this position, fair to say that the foliage got lighter?
Yes,
Okay. And as you moved deeper, where these two individuals said they were, it was pretty thick.
pretty thick. I couldn't see the house on the other property.
And you didn't take any photographs from Mr. McKee's stated position on his grandmother's property when the shooting was supposed to have occurred. Is that right?
Correct. I didn't have access to their property, and I didn't want to go over there without their consent.
Were you able to view most of the McGee property adjacent to Mr. Mills' property just by the roadway or the property line?
Yes.
Okay. While you were visiting the Mills residence, did you come in contact with Mr. Mills' dog, Pete?
Yes.
Okay.
Pete.
Your Honor, I would ask that these photographs be marked as Defense Composite Exhibit B for identification.
Did you take a picture of Pete?
And I ask that you have the record reflect that I'm showing State's counsel
Record will
the
so
photograph.
reflect.
Yeah, approach the witness.
You may.
Come on, Pete. We're here for Pete.
The defendant's composite exhibit B for identification. Can you tell me what that exhibit in total is?
It appears to me to be Mr. Mills' dog that was at the property when I was there.
Okay. How many photographs are there?
20.
Yes.
25, 20. What's the right number of dog pictures
4.
to take? 4?
And do you recognize what those photographs depict?
Yes.
And that would be Mr. Mills' dog, Pete.
Yes.
Okay. And these photographs fairly and accurately depict Mr. Mills' dog when you visited his residence on July 13th, 2025.
Yes.
Your Honor, I now offer defendant's composite exhibit B for identification into evidence as defendant's composite exhibit B.
Any objection?
No objection.
Composite B is received and you may publish.
I'm going to do it through the monitor system.
You better. We need to see this.
I'll come back. All right. So this is a picture that you were able to identify as Pete.
Yes.
Okay. And this is another picture of Pete.
Correct.
Okay. I can see a little bit of Dane in him. Yeah. Look at
Now,
those legs.
when you came in contact with Pete, was he mean?
No.
Was he friendly?
He was a little playful. I thought it was a puppy because he was jumping around and wanted to lick my hand and play with me. So, yeah, he was friendly.
Okay. What I'd like to do is go back to the photos of the property.
Once for each picture. 4 pictures.
And just complete the 6 remaining pictures that we had before I jumped to Pete the dog. This is another photograph taken from Mr. Mills' position, stated position of the foliage. Is that right?
I stepped to the right of where he said he was standing so I could see if I could see through that wood line.
Okay. And is there a porch behind you in this photograph?
It's not in the photograph, but there is a porch on the house.
Right.
Yes.
And how high off the ground is that?
Maybe a couple of feet.
Okay. In this photograph, a little further to the right?
Yes. And this one, I'm kind of stepping closer to the wood line to see if I can see through it.
He's still standing right
Close
next to the
did you
car.
get to the wood line when you were there looking into this?
I walked toward it to see if I could see through it. When I got away from the house up toward the driveway or the entrance to the property, I could see that blue tarp on top of, I think it was a water tank or something.
How close were you again from the property when you could make that out?
It was at the beginning of the property when you first come in, you can see it. Yes.
Any comments on this particular photograph that you took?
I just took that to see if I could see the house or anything over there by the McGee's house.
And the last photograph we have, essentially the same picture.
Yeah, I just panned a little bit.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So you reviewed the probable cause affidavit in this case.
Yes.
And you surveyed the two properties as best you could without trespassing on the McKee property.
Yes.
And you photographed these two properties.
Correct.
Did you reach any kind of a conclusion related to Mr. McKee's allegations against Mr. Mills?
There were several things I noticed. One, I didn't think it was feasible that he could identify a pistol from 130, 40 feet away. I mean, somebody pulling a gun out that far away is through that thick brush wood line, to me would probably be impossible.
No other questions.
Ms. Ford?
Mr. Etzis, were you hired by the defense in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you being compensated for your work?
I hope so.
And is it your assignment to help the defense in this case? Is it your assignment to help the defense in this case?
When you say help the defense, what do you mean?
What are you being paid for?
I was paid to go take photographs and survey the property.
And just of Mr. Mills' property, is that correct?
Yes, I was hired to go survey, take photographs of Mr. Mills' property. I didn't have permission to go on the other property.
Now, you weren't present on the day that the incident occurred, is that correct?
Correct.
In fact, you arrived on July 13th, right?
Yes.
So the incident happened in April. So we got April, May, June, July. So you're about 4 months after it happened, is that correct?
Yes.
And the only way you saw the property as it existed that day was from a photo from the incident report?
Yes, there was a couple of photographs taken from, I think it was body cam and this is why I looked at the vegetation as the same, because I looked at images from the April 7th when the incident happened and compared that vegetation to when I was there. And it was pretty much the same. There wasn't much difference. It wasn't like dead leaves and, open field. It was pretty thick from the images I saw. So it was, even though it was 3 months later, 4 months later, it was still the same view.
Can you describe the images you saw from the law enforcement officers?
It was a image of a deputy standing with Mr. McKee, and he was pointing toward Mr. Mills' property.
Okay. So on July 13th, 2025, you roll into Mr. Mills' land, is that correct, to take these photos?
Yes.
And Mr. Mills is present, right?
He was.
And he's assisting you and showing you around his property, is that correct?
No.
No. Where was he?
He was trying to control his dog. And the only thing he did with me was tell me where he was standing.
Okay.
And I told him from there that I would survey the area without him.
All right. So on July 13th, 2025, he told you where he was standing. So you're relying on information from Mr. Mills from 4 months later. Is that correct?
And I think I read in the incident report that he was in front of the Cadillac.
And where did you read that?
I think it was in the charging affidavit.
And you believe that the word Cadillac was used?
I'm not 100% certain.
So your measurements in all these photos are based upon where Mr. Mills told you he was, right?
Can you repeat that, please?
Your photographs are taken based upon where Mr. Mills told you he was, right?
And where Mr. McGee told the deputies he was standing.
Now, when we looked at those photographs, we kind of start at the Cadillac, right? And we heard Mr. Morris say that's where Mr. Mills told you he was. Is that correct?
Mr. Mills told me he was in front of the Cadillac. What I read in the police incident report indicate that he was in front of the Cadillac and Mr. McKee was standing just near a water tank with a blue tarp over it.
And so as we watched those photos, we watched you take more photos from the viewpoint of the Cadillac. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. In fact, you gave us a number of feet that you believe they were apart, right?
I gave a number of feet. I thought, or I estimated that the two gentlemen were from each other.
All right. And that number was 130, according to you.
It was between 130 and 150 feet.
Now, do people have conversations between 130 and 150 feet?
Objection, calls for speculation.
You rephrase, counsel.
Can you have a conversation between 130 and 150 feet?
Yes.
Would you have to yell, or how would that work?
I would imagine it depends on the person's capacity to hear.
Okay. Did you ever interview the victim in this case, Mr. McKee?
No.
Did you ever read his statement?
No.
Did you ever watch the in-car camera on this case?
No.
Did you speak to Veronica McKee on this case?
No.
Did you speak to Craig Smith?
No.
From 130 feet to 150 feet, can you hear a gunshot?
Sure.
I want to talk a little bit about Pete. Was Pete on a leash that day?
No, he wasn't.
Is the entire property fenced?
I'm going to object to relevance.
I overrule that objection.
Is the property fenced?
I don't believe it's 100%. I think.
Could Pete get through that line that you're talking about, the wood line?
It's possible.
Did Pete have an electronic collar on or something that would signify to you that he wouldn't be allowed to get past that line?
I don't remember if he had anything like that or not.
And it was your testimony today he was roaming around when you were taking those photographs?
He was on the property. Mr. Mills was, yes, he was roaming around the property.
Your investigation consists of primarily visiting the property, is that correct?
And taking photographs.
Taking photographs, reviewing some paperwork?
Yes.
And talking with the defendant?
Yes.
Can you say that the gun was or wasn't fired? Do you have any evidence to that effect?
No.
Your testimony is that it is the possibility of the events occurred the way the victim described or the defendant described, or both?
Can you repeat that, please?
So your testimony today, is it based upon where the defendant said he was?
And where the victim said he was.
And the way you saw the victim was through that photograph, that's it?
Yes.
No further questions.
Mr. Morris?
If I may. So from the vantage point, when you took the picture from the Cadillac, how far behind you was the porch?
Probably another 25, 30 feet.
Okay. So you were there to take a look at distance and the ability to see through the foliage. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Would Veronica McGee talking to her have helped?
Excuse me?
Would talking to the victim's mother have helped in your ability to judge distance and take photographs of the scene?
No.
Would it have helped if you spoke to David McGee about distance and the way the property is laid out?
No, I didn't need to speak with anyone. I knew where Mr. McKee said he was. I knew where Mr. Mills said he was. And I mean, speaking to somebody about where nobody else was there but those two. And so I did my whatever investigative work I did on the case based on the police incident report and Mr. Mills explaining to me where he was standing.
Okay, so if you had gone to Mr. Mills' property and not talked to him, would that in your professional experience be strange?
Yes.
Okay. Is it strange for law enforcement to talk to a victim in the case?
Say that again.
Is it strange for law enforcement to speak to a victim or other witnesses in a case?
No, I don't think that's strange.
Thank you.
All right, may Mr. Estes be released?
He may be.
All right, Mr. Estes, thank you for your testimony, sir. You're free to stay here with us or go about your day. It's good to see you. Do we need to have a quick discussion, or do you have someone else outside the courtroom that you wish to call?
Hey, Your Honor, at this time, the defense would announce rest.
We need to have a quick discussion.
Okay.
All right. Come on up, Mr. Mills.
Judge cut him off. Mr. Mills, there needs to be a colloquy about whether or not he wants to testify, and he is not testifying. Defense blurts out they're going to arrest right now. They can't do that before he gets a chance to testify. So I have to tell you, if you watched the podcast last night, we tasted a lot of beef jerky, and it was not good. So I took the jerky, I went back to my spice cabinet, and I found my flat iron pepper flakes. And I added a healthy amount to all the jerky. And now it's better. Not too hot. It's just better. It's still not good. Jerky made of felons. Yes. We unknowingly stepped right into a Foliage Friday case, which we love.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
I do need to disclose that I didn't realize that I actually do know that person, Mr. Estes.
You know Mr. Estes?
Yeah, from years ago.
Okay.
Our kids went to school, so I just wanted to make sure that was disclosed.
Yes, ma'am. I think a lot of people know Mr. Estes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Absolutely. But Mr. Morris, I believe I cut you off, but you were making an announcement.
Yes, I'm sorry, Your Honor. The defense at this point would announce rest.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morris. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 11:53. It's a good time for our lunch break. So what we'll do is we will take a lunch break. You're free to go about Your personal affairs, of course, again, do not look up anything or talk to anyone, allow anyone to talk to you. And we'll come back at 1:15 this afternoon. So you have about an hour and 20 minutes or so. We'll all stand as you exit the courtroom, and I hope you enjoy your lunch.
That puts it 2:15 for us to come back. Let me go ahead and build that. What are we calling this case? Beware of dog trial.
Thank you. Please be seated. The jury has courtroom. State has indicated it does not intend to case, and I believe the defense, if you want to renew your motion for judgment of acquittal before we go through our charge conference, correct? All right, and my ruling will still be the same. Do you have the proposed instructions that Ms. Ford provided to you?
I do. There was only one thing that I noticed, and it looked like in 8.2, she references a lesser included when it's the actual charge. Outside of that, all the instructions look good.
Okay.
At least that's all that I saw.
Yes, sir.
I can present them to you in just.
I have a copy here.
You got them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So 3.1 is standard. 3.2 is standard. 8.2. To prove the lesser included crime. So we'll just strike lesser included to prove the crime of aggravated assault. Is that what you're talking about, Mr.
Yes,
Morris?
sir.
Okay. Perfect. And that's standard. Lesser included crimes. I'm going to change some of the language in this. What I'm going to do, starting with that second sentence, in other words, it says, in other words, if you decide the main accusation has not been proved beyond a reasonable doubt, you would need to decide if the state, I'm going to strike that language and write, you must consider whether the state has proved beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of a lesser included crime. So I'm just going to include the language you must consider instead of you will need to decide. That language is confusing. Asking you would need to decide. I'm telling them if the state essentially, if the evidence doesn't show that a guilty is charged, they must consider all the lesser included offenses. You must consider whether the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of a lesser included crime. The lesser included crimes of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, R, okay.
Your Honor, you're still at 3.4?
Yes, sir, still at 3.4. The lesser included crimes of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon are improper exhibition of a firearm and assault. And any objection to 10.5, improper exhibition of a firearm?
No, sir.
And no objection to assault. Plea of not guilty, reasonable doubt, and burden of proof. When the evidence 1 through 5 are standard. Number 6, do we want to leave it in or keep it out?
Leave in.
Okay. Any objection to number 6? I believe based on Mr.
Object. I don't know.
Guess Mr. Estes' testimony. You want to argue?
Yeah, I think that's okay. We'll leave it in. I think that's fair.
What about 7? Had any pressure or threat been used against the witness?
No.
Do you want to leave in 8 about a prior inconsistent statement?
Yes.
9, I don't believe we have any testimony about any convictions, and we don't have any reputation evidence.
No.
All right, so we'll just have 6 and 8, or 6 and 7 now. And everything else looks like standard. We'll have the defendant not testifying, and you want me to read both paragraphs? It says give either paragraph or both of the defendant requests. You want me to read both?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so that's it. And what I will do is once we return from lunch, I'll begin with the final instructions. I'll take a break right after defendant not testifying. I'll read the closing argument instruction. You all will give your closing arguments, and then I'll pick back up at Ruse for deliberation. Anything before we take our break? Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, we'll stay in a recess until 1:15.
All right, before we go to lunch, I've got to show you something, because it's good. Hang on one second. Let's get this. Let's get this up. In my neck of the woods, from where I used to live, I still follow the news in that area. In those parts, let's see if I can find it here. Where'd it go? History recently closed. That one. That's what I need. Drag that up there. I'm going to put this on screen so you can see this. Funny crimes that happen, I guess. This is actually from it's Eagle Mountain. It's not far from Salina Kay. And here's the footage, the Ring camera footage. We're going to go ahead and roll this beautiful bean footage. See if you can tell what's happening. There it is. That's it. And then they made their escape. So we have a knight with a knight's helmet and someone with a gas mask placing hot dogs on and about the property of the victim who owned a Cybertruck, and the Cybertruck seems to be the target of some of that as well. So Eagle Mountain, Utah, used to be around, near the point of the mountain, but where the prison was, but now it's moved. That's that case. I guess we'll be following that one closely, is what I'm saying. You can't make this stuff up. They put hot dogs on his porch and on his cars. Are they like summoning raccoons? Is that? It's what? Why would you? What else would it do? It's either going to bring in the seagulls or the raccoons. Those are your options in Utah. So that happened. If you know anything about this, please contact the Eagle Mountain Police Department, as this is currently their most pressing case. So about a dozen hot dogs sacrificed to this for this purpose. All right, I'm guessing probably in one of the hot dogs is a note, and it's like, "Will you go to prom with me?" or something, right? It's gonna be, it's gonna be something like that. But that just happened. All right, we're gonna go to lunch. We have a portal set up already to come back this afternoon to finish out this Beware of the Dog trial with Florida versus Mills. We're back in action in the same court again with another aggravated assault case with Mr. Tate, the officer, once again. I think, common denominator, both cases have the same police officer. We'll see if there's a conviction in this one. Hopefully we'll get the verdict this time because we didn't last time. But we're going to go to break right now, get a little bit of lunch. I think Mrs. R.A. is at the store getting me lunch, or my son's at the store getting me pizza. That would be even better. We'll be back in about 1 hour, maybe an hour and 15. I'm going to have lunch with my birthday child. Yes, the Utah state bird is the California seagull. You can't make that up. The California seagull is Utah state bird. That's his name. So, do they have a state rodent? I know they have a state gun. It's the Colt 1911 pistol, which is not a revolver. Or it's the Browning 1911. The Browning. Because Browning makes their guns in Utah, or some of them anyway. All right, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you watch. Hug the people you watch. Stop. Don't. Just look at them. Hug the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe. Do go live again in about an hour. Do we know the verdict in the other case? Yeah. We got the verdict in the other case. It was not guilty. We just didn't get to see it. I'm hoping we get to see it in this one. All right. Utah does not have a state road. Well, there's room now. Let's get some legislation there. Pronto. Come on. I'm thinking the gerbil. Thinking the gerbil, or maybe one of those hopping kangaroo rats. All right, guys, have a great lunch. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.